the Winnipeg Jets. Hello, everybody. The Bruins have a chance to do tonight what they haven't been able to do all season. Let's put together a 3-game unbeaten streak. I'm Brenda Brennan. Glad you could join us here tonight on Nesson. You know, because of last year's lockout, the Bruins and Jets haven't seen each other in about 21 months. But we've heard all about the Jets' serious scoring threats. Kachuk, Korolev, and Solani. There's no doubt the Bruins will have to play strong defense tonight if they hope to walk away with a victory. Dale Arnold, Gord Kluzak, they'll have to do it without their young defensemen, too.
Unfortunately, Brenda, Kyle McLaren, the 18-year-old first-round draft pick out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan, suffered some lower back stiffness. Will miss the first game of his very young career, Gordy.
The Bruins will definitely miss Kyle. He's played very well. They had a couple of good defensive efforts, and they're going to need that again tonight against Winnipeg, which is a very powerful offensive team.
The Winnipeg Jets come to town with as good a group of young forwards as there is in this league. 25 years old on average for the guys up front, and they've got some firepower.
Boy, do they ever. Teemu Solani scored 76 goals a couple years ago. Alexei Zhamnov, one of the top scorers in the league last year. Keith Kachuk, the Massachusetts native who's really blossomed into one of the top power forwards in the league. The Bruins will really have to be on their game tonight, especially defensively and forechecking to contend with this team.
Well, the key to good defense is always good forechecking, and the key to good forechecking for the Bruins so far this year may have been the play of a guy like Sean McEachern.
Absolutely. Sean McEachern has been absolutely flying the last little while, and along with Joseph Stumple and Cam Neely have really provided one of the Bruins' best lines. I think he'll have to be part of what will be an intelligent forechecking game. Be aggressive when you have an opportunity against Winnipeg, but make sure you don't get caught in 3-on-2 and 2-on-1 type situations.
Scott Bailey gets his third straight start in nets. No big surprise there, since his goals against average is a little under 2 and his saves percentage is almost 95%. It's the Boston Bruins and the Winnipeg Jets. Will run through the net-minding matchups and face this one off for you from the Fleet Center coming up next.
You can see the excitement during Pontiac's Drive to Excitement at your local Pontiac dealer. The new Pontiacs have arrived and they're ready to move. Like the popular Grand Am. The #1 selling car in GM's lineup can now be yours starting at just $13,999. Excitement! The Drive to Excitement ends November 30th, so hurry to your New England Pontiac dealers. Pontiac!
Face it, no other razor shaves closer, smoother, safer than Gillette Sensor XL, no matter what kind of skin you have.
No one leaves till we solve this one.
Return the page. Return the page. Return the page.
To reply to a page instantly, call 1-800-SkyTel.
Nesson's exclusive presentation of Boston Bruins hockey is brought to you in part by Chevy Dealers of New England. Start where more people end up. By the Michelob family of beers, because some days are better than others. By the Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. By Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette series, the best a man can get. And by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car.
See, I don't know about you, but I don't want to know them. You know, a couple of days from now, I could be getting closer than I want to be to some of those guys. I don't want to meet them. You know, it's like naming those household or those farm pets that you used to have when you were a kid back in Climax, you know, Gordy, and you didn't want to think about their names and stuff. Welcome back to the Fleet Center. Dale Arnold, Gordy Kluzak, Brenda Brennan, set to bring you all the action between the Boston Bruins and the Winnipeg Jets. Haven't seen the Jets in a long time. As Brent told you a few moments ago, it's been 21 months since these two teams last played against each other, and didn't get an opportunity to see any of them last year. You'd watch them from afar, watch them on television. The oldest forward on this team, well, two guys are tied for that honor. Ed Olczyk and Chris King are both 29 years old. I mean, you look at the rest of this group. Ed Ronan is 27, Darren Turcotte 27, but Korolev, Zamnov, Solani 25 apiece. Right now from the Fleet Center, our national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing heart we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Rene Rancourt with our national anthems. Well, he's ready to go. The officials assigned by the National Hockey League for tonight's game. Dan Marawelli is your referee. Kevin Collins and Brian Murphy will work the lines. Goaltending matchup first for the visiting Winnipeg Jets. 22 years old, out of Sverdlovsk, Russia. 6'1", 176 pounds. Nikolai Khabibulin, 13 games played so far this year. Pretty good record of 8-4-0. Goals against average a little bit high. Down at the other end of the ice, making his third straight start in nets, and why not? Goals against average of 1.92. Saves percentage 94.4. Scott Bailey gets the opportunity to try to extend his and the team's unbeaten streak to 3. And we're underway here in the first. The captain, Raymond Bourque, for Dave Reed, and the Bruins come out. Steve Leach forechecking on the right wing. Checked by Ed Olczyk. Jeff Finley far corner. Dave Reed takes him down. Donato trying to work it loose. Reed had his helmet ripped off. Couldn't get the return feed. Khabibulin steers to the corner. Donato checked. Goes down. Finley right on him. Dave Reed intercepts. Back to the blue line. Couldn't connect with Sweeney.
Talked about the need, Dale, for the Bruins to come out and be very smart in their forechecking. You see there, Donato, Leach, and Reed, very intelligent, working hard down low, but always having the third guy high.
Both teams will peel off and change it up on the fly. Bruins come out with Stevens, Ellick, and Mullen. Stuart Malgunas for the Jets out to center ice. Intercepted by Alexei Kasatonov. Bruins clear it back in. Malgunas back to retrieve. He's paired back on defense with Daryl Shannon. Darren Turcotte checked. Mullen tips deep. Daryl Shannon. Bruins dump it back into the corner after the big check thrown in the corner. Stevens trying to throw his weight around a little bit. Kasatonov. Stevens deep. Whoa, did he get upended? Daryl Shannon at 6'2", 200 pounds. Pretty good size himself. Chris King, the captain of the team, sends it deep. Daryl Shannon can't clear. Bruins intercept. Ellick with it on the backhand. Gives to Kasatonov. Shot off the glove of Khabibulin.
Good play there by Ellick. The defense backed off a little bit on Kasatonov.
Outside the line, Zombo put it back in. Offsides is the call. Let's check the scratches in this game as you take a look at Todd Ellick there. The Winnipeg Jets are coached by Terry Simpson. Simpson, a guy who's done a pretty good job with this team. He's known as a no-nonsense kind of coach, and those are the guys that he's got out. McKenzie and Gillen are healthy scratches. The Dallas Drake ear infection literally happened just today, precipitating the call-up of Ravil Guzmanov from Springfield of the American Hockey League. Bruins have one healthy scratch. That's Blaine Locker. This is the third straight game that he has not even dressed for the game. Dave Manson paired on defense with Darren Quint. Quint out of Durham, New Hampshire. Joseph Stumple clears it in. You've got McEachern, Neely, and Stumple up front. Ravil Guzmanov tips it out. Sends it to the Boston line. Bork gloves it, clears it out. Will it make the goal line? Yes. Quint touches up the icing call against the Bees. 17:40 left to play here in the first. No score. Darren Quint, we told you about, is from Durham, New Hampshire. I was at the hospital earlier this afternoon visiting Travis Roy for the first time. Darren was there 2 days ago. He played with Travis at Tabor Academy, wanted to go see his former teammate. The Jets have actually been in town for a couple of days, and Darren took the opportunity to head over to the BU Medical Center.
He's a terrific talent, Dale. Great skater, puck handler, 7 assists in his first 18 games here, and a +5, which is very impressive for a young defenseman.
John Gruden getting an opportunity to play with Kyle McLaren out of the game. Ray Bork. Bruins have that Stumple, Neely, McEachern line still up front. Stumple fighting his way through a center ice stick check. Ravil Guzmanov clears it out. Streaking away is Igor Korolev. Shot, save Bailey, no rebound. There's the whistle.
Gruden played that very conservatively. Could have been perhaps a little more aggressive and closed down on Korolev. You'll see it here. He sort of backs off of him, lets him get the shot away. He could have turned and went a little more quickly at him. However, Korolev being a very shifty player. Korolev came over from St. Louis on the waiver draft last year and has really set the league on fire so far. 25 points in his first 19 games. He played with Alexei Zhamnov back in Moscow Dynamo, and they played when they were kids back in Russia. And he's obviously found a home here in Winnipeg.
Face off to the left of Bailey. Don Sweeney got racked to the boards. He cleared it behind the net. Darren Shannon forechecking for Winnipeg. Sweeney behind the net. Avoids most of the Shannon check. Dave Reed tips it out past Finley. Teppo Numanen deflects it up into the bench area behind the bench. 16:58 left to play in the first. Bruins and the Winnipeg Jets just underway with no score.
Sorry, Miss Anna, but it's only an old car. I mean, there's nothing special.
Would you look at that?
Now entering the gate, the last year of the day, number 12.
It's on your mind, it's on our bottles and cans. The Michelob Light Skiers 12-pack.
Kevin Stevens, who got the Bruins off to a good start in his first shift, a couple of big body checks. That's what the Bruins fans really want to see from him.
And it's what the Bruins need as well, I think, Gordy. They need to set the pace physically. They've done that the last couple of games against New Jersey and St. Louis.
They don't have a type of team that's really going to be that fancy, especially against an offensively talented group like Winnipeg. I think the Bruins can really come out and outgrind a team like this, and that's what they're going to need to do to be successful.
Darren Shannon plays on this team with his brother Daryl Shannon. Luckily for me, one plays defense, one plays forward. I'd have a heck of a time if they were on the same line.
This is Daryl, my other brother Daryl?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm glad you did that, Canadian that you are, and I didn't get slammed for it. They're not twins, by the way. Daryl is 27 years old. He's number 24, the guy you see there on the right. Darren, number 34, is 25 years old. Darren Quint. Oh, now don't even start with another Darren either, by the way. Center ice, John Roloff. Marius Cherkovsky in with Stevens and Hines. Stevens perhaps double shifting because of the physical tone he set a moment ago. Hines intercepts for Cherkovsky. Tipped away by Dave Manson and cleared length of the ice. This will be the second straight icing call against the Jets as Don Sweeney touches. Ed Olczyk sent it down. There's a pretty tough guy, Dave Manson.
Averaging 215 penalty minutes per season. He doesn't play like a shrinking violet out there. He's always been a very aggressive type player. He's scored. He's got some offensive punch, though he's had 15 goals or more 3 times in his career. Came over a few years back from Edmonton. Type of guy that really provides a lot of leadership and toughness on Winnipeg's blue line.
He's from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Stuart Malgunas, also on the blue line for the Jets, is from Prince George, British Columbia. The royal family well represented in the hometowns of the Jets defensive corps. Ed Olczyk tips it in. Bailey deep, lost it. Kachuk centering, feed, backhand flip, stopped. Teemu Selanne in front, couldn't get the shot away. Kachuk lost control of it off his stick. Stevens for Mullen. Bruins back out. Kasatonov, great feed for Ellick. Ellick bothered by Manson. Near point, Zombo. Pass too hot for Mullen to handle. Stevens for Mullen. Missed it. Ellick had Mullen in front. Didn't connect with him. Stevens side of the cage. Can't hold on. Ellick in the corner. Behind the net for Mullen. Stop shot. Knocked wide by Quint. Darren Quint pushed it ahead. Stevens cuts it off. Can't get the shot. Falls down. Ed Olczyk bats it out. Zombo back to touch it up. We get the icing call. 15:08 left to play in the first. No score in this one. Pittsburgh is at Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Rangers. Let's find out what's going on down at MSG and check in at our studios with Don Mitchell.
Well, the action has begun at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers scored, and then Jaromir Jagr steals and lets go a 40-footer. That's his 17th of the year, and we're tied at 1. Dalen Gord?
Not surprising to see Jaromir Jagr on any score sheet at any time. That high-powered offense that the Pittsburgh Penguins can put together. Ray Bourque puts it on Cage. Khabibulin made the stop. Neely overskated the rebound in the slot, and Chris King through center ice. Scott Bailey moved it up the wing boards. It got cut off there by Shane Doan. Rookie playing his first year with the Jets. Bruins the other way quickly. Stumple in front. Khabibulin knocked it away from McEachern over the glass and into the seats.
Sean McEachern has been skating terrifically the last couple weeks for the Bruins. Joseph Stumplin and him have been hooking up numerous times very well. You'll see another example of it here. Sean just dump it off to Joseph, and he'll sort of delay and delay. McEachern will just get on his horse and head towards the net and almost connects.
Great play by Stumple to stay on sides. Was back 2 at the blue line as he took that pass, but didn't put himself off sides. Chris King clears it out for the Jets. Bruins forced back. We're going to get another icing call. No. Darren Turcotte got there before John Gruden. Daryl Shannon, who sent it deep. Chris King out of the near corner. King into the slot, left it near wing boards. Nobody there but Sandy Mulder. Sean McEachern the other way. Uses his jets, drops it off. Shot glove stop. Cobby Bullen will hold on, take the face off in his own end. That one was high and wide of the cage, but taking no chances.
Cobby Bullen. Say that real fast 3 times.
I was praying he'd play. Drafted the same year Scott Bailey was, his net-minding counterpart. In fact, Nikolai was taken a little bit later on in the draft, as you can see. Some other goaltenders taken in there. Look at the guy picked 32nd overall by the Washington Capitals.
Scouting report on Cobby Bullen is that unlike most European goaltenders, he'll come out and challenge the shooters.
Saved by Cobby Bullen there. Rebound redirected in his general area and covered up. Ted Donato trying to put it on cage.
Don Sweeney, I think, starting to get back to full health here. The Bruins absolutely need his great skating ability and leadership on the blue line. It's been a big part of how the Bruins' improved defensive game in the last couple weeks.
Tipped out by Alexei Zhamnov. Back into the Boston end to retrieve it is John Roloff.
Roloff had his best game, I think, of the season against St. Louis. Dale, he was skating, hitting. He's got all the tools. He's just got to learn to apply himself on a consistent basis.
Don Sweeney, far corner, picked off by Korolev. Sweeney takes it back. Left wing Reed chops it out. Finley races back, put it into the skates of the linesman, Alexei Zhamnov. Up for Winnipeg into the Boston end. Zhamnov, great shift. Shot save Bailey. Backboards, Guzmanov. Shot blocked in front, I think, by Donato off Korolev's stick. Teppo Newman drive high and wide. Bruins look to break. Leach leads Donato out. Donato offensive zone. Reed to the net. Shot save Cobby Bullen. Kasatonov keeps it in. Steve Leach, shot blocked. Ted Donato, far hash marks. Donato drive. Cobby Bullen left pad save. Igor Korolev kind of trickles it into the Boston zone. Both teams peel off, change it up on the fly. Kasatonov touches up the icing call. 12:39 left play in the first. Bruins and the Jets hooked up in a good one, but scoreless.
What could be better than giving your kid a Sunoco toy fire truck? Giving one to your boss's kid. Only $14.99 with a fill-up at participating Sunoco retailers. Why not put it on the Sunoco MasterCard?
While we've been in pursuit of perfection, other car companies have been in pursuit of us. But they always come up short. The new Lexus GS300. Faster, smoother than ever before. Pulling ahead's never been easier. See the new 5-speed automatic GS300 at your Lexus dealer.
What could be better than giving your kid a Sunoco toy fire truck? Giving one to your boss's kid. Only $14.99 with a fill-up at participating Sunoco retailers. While supplies last.
Alexei Zhamnov, the third leading scorer in the National Hockey League last year. Great puck handling, very strong lower body. You see him use that leg strength there on Don Sweeney to break through for a scoring chance.
Back to the action as the Jets come out of their own end with it. That's Darren Turcotte, actually born here in Boston, Massachusetts. Far corner, Kasatonov, taken down by Shannon. Eastwood out of the corner. Centering pass, Kasatonov back behind the net. Eastwood takes it back. Darren Shannon chases to the near wing. Mullen gets there first. Threw it behind Stevens, taken in stride. Darren Quint trying to tie up Stevens. He just threw him aside. Centered it, but Darren Shannon, great back-checking job, takes it back. Stevens with a big check on Shannon behind the play. Other way, shot off the stick as Ed Ronan directed it towards the net, the BU product. Finley checked by Ellick. Mullen drilled as he cleared it out. Ed Ronan out of Quincy, Massachusetts, throwing that check on Mullen. Olczyk, Kachuk, and Solani hustle over the boards for the Jets. Sean McEachern can't clear. Cut off. Kept in by Winnipeg. Back boards. Teemu Solani. Kachuk battling in front of the cage. Ed Olczyk alone in front. Centering feed. Missed Kachuk. Bruins caught a big break there. Olczyk overpassing. Had the best opportunity. Icing called against the Bees.
Solani and Olczyk. Solani especially, very quick hands, working the puck loose from Zombo in the corner, and he comes out. The Bruins a little undisciplined there, losing sight of Olczyk. He slips in behind them. Just fortunately for the Bruins, he did try to overpass, and it slid by Kachuk right in front. If he gets that puck through to Kachuk, though, it's in the net. Bailey down a little early there, but when you got Keith Kachuk right in your goal crease, chances are you want to cover up as much of the net as you can.
Chances are I might be doing that too. Bailey stands his ground nicely there and takes the shot away. Shane Doan worked it in front. Jeff Finley back. He gets spilled by Sean McEachern.
Bruins defense giving the Jets forwards a little too much room down low. You give those guys this much room, they're going to create some offensive chances for themselves.
Ray Bourque leads Stumple streaking. Stumple comes in, fights free of a little stick check, tries to trickle it deep for McEachern. Cut off. Bourque keeps it in. Lobs it in front. Darren Shannon checked by Neely. Shane Doan. Out to center ice, Stuart Malgunas. Red line drive off the blocker of Bailey. Went high off the glass. Chris King never saw it. Gives Stumple time to come the other way. Stumple looking for Neely in front. Could have been a penalty call there. He got taken down by Guzmanov. Fans wanted it called.
I think it was Stuart Malgunas there, the defenseman, who stayed very close to Cam. Cam tried to break through. And you're right, it probably could have been a call.
Ted Donato, great intercept. Fights to the crease, gets taken down. Back out come the Jets. Here's Igor Korolev. Alexei Zhamnov comes in with Guzmanov. Zhamnov behind the net, carries it in front, drops it off. Manson shot, Bailey save.
Manson ends up with a scoring chance, but what set it all up was that Alexei Zhamnov, again, who's got he's the type of skater that he's sneaky fast. You don't realize how fast he's going until he's by you. And here he comes all the way around the net, spots Manson, who gets a pretty good scoring chance, but Scott Bailey, again, making it look relatively easy. Good save for the Bruins.
Mike Eastwood comes out to center for Darren Shannon. And Ed Ronan. That's Alexei Zhamnov. Born in Moscow, 25 years old.
He's got some genes of his kids, I'll tell you, because he married Valery Vasiliev's daughter. Vasiliev was the great defenseman for the Red Army back in the 70s.
Far corner, Joseph Stumple. Centering pass, just missed Ellick. Khabibulin tried to cut it off and missed it. It was going so hot. Shannon looking for Eastwood. Eastwood taken back boards. Comes loose, takes the bump from Kasatonov. Alexei Kasatonov looking for Stevens. Cut off, kept in by Daryl Shannon. Penalty call coming up to the Jets. Bruins goaltender Scott Bailey plays it now to Zombo. He comes off for the extra attacker. Bruins would at least like to get down to the other end of the ice, get the face-off in the offensive zone if they have to. Sean McEachern's going to try to wheel it out of there himself. Look at this. Sean McEachern brings the crowd to his feet, shoots it wide. Khabibulin touches up. McEachern goes back after Stuart Malgunas after a stick check off the pads. 8:37 left to play in the first. Bruins go on the power play when we come back.
Hi, I'm Kevin Stevens.
Hi, I'm Dennis Leary.
Hi, this is the Fabulous Sports Babe.
Nothing
gets you closer than the front row.
Celebrate Thanksgiving in the front row. While you enjoy your turkey, we'll be serving up seafood as Front Row goes shark fishing with Bobby Orr. What's Thanksgiving without seconds? Enjoy a return look at some of our favorite stories. Shark fishing with Bobby Orr and the best of Front Row. Thanksgiving Day at 6 on Nesson.
I just hate the show. Don't watch it. It's terrible.
If you buy a Cavalier today, we wouldn't be surprised if by the time it's scheduled for a tune-up, you've already got it paid off. If by the time it needs new rear shocks, you have your master's degree. If by the time it needs a transmission fluid change, your baby is in first grade. Or if by the time it needs a new muffler, we've elected 2 presidents. Any car can be easy to buy. Cavalier is easy to own.
The 1996 Cavalier, starting at just $10,995 from your neighborhood Chevy Geo dealer.
Sean McEachern, the former Penguin who came over to the Bruins this season, showing his great speed, weaving through the whole Winnipeg Jets team, finally getting in for a shot on Khabibulin.
Bruins on the power play for the first time tonight. Donato just able to keep it in at the line. Joseph Stumple checked by Teppo Numminen. Stevens lost it deep to Dave Manson. Manson spins it, looking for Eastwood, tips it past Bork. Kachuk can't get to it before Donato does. Keith Kachuk spends almost all of his summer skating with all these guys around here. The Boston-based guys, Kevin Stevens, Ted Donato. Cam Neely, far corner, can't hold on, and Kachuk backhands it out length of the ice.
He also is playing against his boyhood idol, Cam Neely. Kachuk grew up in Melrose. You can see why he idolized Cam. He plays a very similar type game.
Stumple sends it to the corner for Neely. Neely missed Stevens. Stumple near corner. Manson cuts it off, hit the referee in the back of the leg. Cleared out of the zone by Darren Turcotte. Neely try to break the other way. Tied up, gets it free. Stumple for Stevens, can't control for the shot. Chris King trying to get around Ted Donato. Great job by Donato to get back and tie him up. Bruins Stumple with it. Sean McEachern just off the bench, joined up front by Ellick. Neely stays out there. That's Ellick in the corner, deep for Neely. Knocked away, Ellick with it again. Wheels it back to the line for Sweeney. Ellick. Back for Sweeney. Shot, tipped just wide by McEachern. McEachern out of the corner. Sean McEachern, shot blocked, backhand, save, Khabibulin covers up.
Little better power play there at the end for the Bruins. Good puck movement down low, and then Sean McEachern using the quick steps to force the defenseman to come towards him. Finally gets a rebound, a weak backhander that Khabibulin handled without any problem. Saw a little earlier in the power play, Joseph Stumple, I think, trying to pass when he really should have been looking to shoot. It's a tendency for a young center iceman who's playing with Cam Neely is to look to pass, but he was right in the slot area on his forehand, passed up an opportunity.
Just 10 seconds left in the Bruins power play, and Hines stole it in front but shot it into the corner. Jets come out of the zone with it. Out of the box steps Shannon. Team's back at full strength. Don Sweeney nearly had it picked off. Teemu Selanne, or Keith Kachuk, I should say, trying to break. Bork, offensive end. Bork, shot. Khabibulin save. Rebound. Hines drives it off the outside of the net. Goal light is on, but it hit the outside of the netting.
Big Bruins fan in that goal judge booth, I think.
That would have been a heck of a shot from that angle had he put that one in short side. Ed Olchuk clears it back into the Boston defensive zone. Sweeney from Bailey, picked off Ed Olchuk, alone in front, Selanne scores!
Don Sweeney with a giveaway here, coming around behind his own net. You'll see Ed Olchuk anticipate the pass. Donnie, I don't think ever really saw him. We'll see. He's looking to make a quick outlet pass as he should, but Olchuk sort of snuck in there, intercepted it, and then made a very nice, quick, backhanded pass to Selanne, who had anticipated a turnover and sort of drifted towards the front of the net. He gets his 11th goal, puts the Winnipeg Jets up here 1-0.
Bruins had been playing so well, have outshot the Jets 10-7, but trail now 1-0 on the goal by Teemu Selanne, his 11th of the year. Don Sweeney not guilty of things like that very often. Olchuk gets the lone assist. Selanne nearly got that one away as well. Ellick knocked it free from him. Asseton off in the corner. Bruins able to tip it out. Darren Quint sends it back in. Quick feed, center ice, Mullen. Drives it in off Teppo Newman. Bobby Bullen slowed it up. Bruins tried to center, went off the back of the net. They'll keep the face-off in the offensive zone. It was deflected by the Jet defenseman Finley.
Jeff Finley, one of the young, not that young, but one of the relatively young defensemen on the Winnipeg Jets. They were the second worst defensive team in the league last year. Primary goal of Coach Simpson was to get the team to work harder, especially in their own zone, to cut that down. They know with the type of offensive talented players they have that they're going to score their share of goals.
Are they ever? Eastwood and Stumple on the draw. Newman in with control. Neely intercepts. Neely looking for Bork, deflected into the air by Korolev.
Cam and Ray have played together for so long that Cam almost just instinctively looks for Ray when he came out from the side of that net.
Ray Bork, lead feed Stumple, center ice. Finley tried to knock it loose. Stumple, nice job deep for McEachern. Has Neely in front, centering feed deflected by Kavy Bullen, grabbed by Zhamnov. Alexei Zhamnov clears it out. Bork breaks it up. Neely gets control. Missed Stumple with the pass. Igor Korolev. Stumple deflects it. Bruins boards. Neely can't get control. Tipped in by the Jets. Play a bit sloppy between the blue lines right now. Stuart Malgunas dumps it into the Boston zone. Roll off to the far corner, avoids the Chris King forecheck. Donato had it deflected away from him by Shane Doan. Roll off for Gruden. Left side, Cherkovsky. Out of the zone, Donato. Ted Donato trying to turn Shannon. Donato deep, picked off backboards. Jets roll it free to the line. Roll off, picks it off, shot wide. Little flick of the wrist. Had Kavy Bullen beat, but missed the net. King the other way. Centering pass, Cherkovsky missed it. Sweeney did. Ellick back the other way. Surrounded by three blue-shirted Jets, just dumps it in. Bruins complete the line change on the fly. Stevens hops over the boards with Hines. We get a whistle, stoppage.
6 guys on the ice.
3:23 left to play in the first. 1-0 Winnipeg Jets with the lead.
Time to go to the airport, get Miss Flight, big presentation, brochures, overhead slides, slide projector, business cards, pens.
Notebooks, leave behind, laptop, case, files, petty cash, name tag.
No matter how fast you are, driving yourself to the airport means traffic, construction, and parking headaches.
Files? Files! Receipts, records, contracts, tax forms.
Estimates, bills.
But Massport has fast, convenient ways right to your terminal.
Copy, copy, copy.
Like the airport water shuttle, Blue Line, and Massport's Logan Express. For information, call Massport at 1-800-23-LOGAN, because driving yourself is really slow.
Gonna need a new job.
Today, big news from the automotive world. Happy Sport utility buyers flock to showrooms for their first look at the 96 GMC Jimmy. And look at the savings. Now that's a lot of green. And speaking of green, Jeep owners are green with envy. Now the Jimmy tops Grand Cherokee with over 4,800 simoleons in savings. Would there be a better time to save? Get moving. See your New England GMC truck dealer today.
Terry Simpson is the guy you're looking at. He's the head coach. That's Randy Carlyle, the veteran defenseman who's the assistant coach. You can see the disgust on Carlyle's face. That's because it's one of his defensemen who came out early and just got called for too many men on the ice. Carlyle running the defense corps, and it was one of his guys who got caught. Ed Olchuk serves the penalty. Bruins on the power play, second time. Neely deep for Stumple. Loses back boards. Manson clears it out. Bork and Donato man the points on the power play. Stumple, Neely, Stevens up front. Ted Donato for Joseph Stumple. Sends it deep looking for Stevens. Stevens checked by Newman and got it loose to Stumple. Back to the point. Donato in front looking for Neely in his skates. Tried to kick it onto the stick blade, lost his footing, got buried by Manson as Kachuk broke out. Nice poke check by Bork for Stevens. Hits the trailer, Donato in stride. Donato for Neely. Neely, great drop pass for Sweeney. Sweeney shot. Deflected away to the corner, Ellick with it. Stevens in front, turns it loose for Neely. Knocked away from him, Khabibulin with the poke check. Puck cleared length of the ice for the Jets. Sweeney back, checked by Mike Eastwood. Gives to Mullen, now to Ellick. Ellick, McEachern, Mullen up front as the new power play unit. Ellick offensive zone for Mullen. Drop pass to the line, carried back in offsides by Sweeney. 1:56 left to play in the first. 1-0 Jets with the lead here. Let's find out what's going on elsewhere around the league. Rangers have come back, taken a 2-1 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins down at MSG. The New Jersey Devils with a 2-1 lead down in Miami over the Panthers. Los Angeles Kings with NHL Player of the Week Wayne Gretzky leading Philadelphia. Toronto a 1-0 lead over St. Louis. San Jose, Washington scoreless in the first. Anaheim and Calgary start about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Todd Ellick will take the face-off with Mike Eastwood. Linesman Brian Murphy sets drop. Nice job by Eastwood to not only gain control of the face-off, but clear it down. Just 24 seconds left in the Bruins power play. Bork back at the point on the power play with John Roloff. Mullen hit hard, got it to Ellick. Tried to wind it around behind the boards, kind of misfired on it. McEachern had to come over and take the dribbler, give to Ellick, back to Bork, just kept it in. Flips it wide as Finley took Mullen down. Centering feed blocked by Khabibulin. Out of the box comes Ed Olczyk. Jets back at full strength. Bailey for Bork. Back behind the net for Roloff. Olczyk forechecking. Joey Mullen able to move it out of the zone. Igor Korolev lobs it back in. Stick stop by Bailey.
The Bruins ineffective on the power play again here, Dale. I think a lack of quick passes, quick puck movement in the offensive zone. Not moving it around to the right spot soon enough to create chances for themselves. They really only had one shot there, Don Sweeney's slap shot. There really wasn't any traffic in front of Khabibulin to cause him any sort of trouble.
Less than 45 seconds remain in the first period. Usmanov sends it deep. Centering pass. Zhemnov shot trapped between the pads of Bailey. Coming up in our first intermission, Brenda's got all the news from around the National Hockey League, including comments from the latest coach to get the gate. Where will the Jets land next year? We'll tackle some of the more pressing issues facing the league, plus highlights from that Penguins-Rangers matchup. Stick around, that's all coming up between periods 1 and 2.
Scott Bailey forced to make what was a pretty good save here in the last minute. Zhamnov is a very powerful player.
Darren Turcotte, great job to gain the draw and try to get the shot away. Luckily for the Bruins, and Scott Bailey, he kind of misfired on it.
Bit of an error here by Joseph Stumple on the faceoff. Turcotte is his man. There's no way he can beat him that cleanly. You have to be thinking defensively, not offensively on this faceoff in your own zone.
Stumple and Turcotte on the draw second straight time. Chris King tried to wind it to the crease from the near wing boards. Shane Doan turned it wide. Bruins cleared it out. 11-11 the shots on goal in this one. Jets with a 1-0 lead. Possible 2-on-1 break. Kasatonov hustles back and foils that bid. Stumple looking for Reed. Broken up by Turcotte, who lobs it out. Zombo with 5 seconds left for Neely. Took the high hit from King, and that'll do it for the first period as the siren sounds, ending the first. Nikolai Khabibulin stops all 11 shots turned in his direction. Scott Bailey stopped 10 of 11 at the other end of the ice. And when you give up a goal to Teemu Selanne, there's not much shame in that. The Winnipeg Jets lead the Boston Bruins by a score of 1-0. Let's find out what's in store during our intermissions. Check in with Brenda Brennan.
Thanks, Dale. Coming up on our first intermission, NHL news and notes and scores and highlights. Plus, we'll discuss the dirty job of coaching. All of that after this timeout.
Day 3 of your ski trip. You wake up, and it's painfully obvious. There's absolutely no way you could possibly ski one more day.
Oh, boy.
Unless, of course, it's free. Get a free day of skiing when you buy a multiple day pass with the certificate inside specially marked Michelob Light Skiers 12 packs.
Hustling and bustling for this season's best values can be a breeze if you shop with this, the Big Payback Value Book, and this, your Discover Card. You can get over $170 in cash rebates on top name brand gifts for the holidays. Just send us your receipts, and you can wrap up big savings without all the runaround. It pays to discover the card with the big payback. Look in the mail for your value book today.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Now you can see the excitement during Pontiac's Drive to Excitement at your local Pontiac dealer. The new Pontiacs have arrived and they're ready to move. Like the Hot View Sunfire, starting at under 12 grand. And that's loaded with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and a 120 horsepower engine. All standard. Excitement! The Drive to Excitement ends November 30th, so hurry to your New England Pontiac dealers.
Pontiac! We're back live at the Fleet Center, Winnipeg, holding a 1-0 lead over Boston after 20. Time now for some news and notes from around the National Hockey League, and we're starting it off out west, where the great one is still going strong. Wayne Gretzky has been named the NHL Player of the Month for the 41st time in his career. Gretzky scored a season-high 6 points Thursday versus the Islanders. All total last week, he had 11 points in 4 games. Time now for our NHL standings, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers, where you can find 5 of the top 10 selling vehicles in America. We started off in the Eastern Conference, the Northeast Division, with Pittsburgh on top with 25 points. The Penguins averaging 5 goals per game. Montreal has won 5 straight and is now in second place, 24 points. Sabres must be doing it with mirrors. They have 19 points. And Ottawa has lost 8 straight with 12 points. Over in the Atlantic, the league-leading Florida Panthers with 31 points. Florida 10-2-1 at home, despite the rumors that they might be moving out of town. The Islanders round out the Atlantic, 8 points, tied for last place in the NHL. Over in the Western Conference, in the Central Division, Detroit on top with 24 points. The Leafs just 1 point out of first. In the Pacific, Colorado with 29 points. The LA Kings, who are here on Friday, undefeated in their last 4 road games, have 25 points. And of course, Calgary and San Jose sit there in the basement in the Pacific Division. Now, we mentioned the Ottawa Senators earlier on, and they'll have a new coach when they play Winnipeg on tomorrow night. 36-year-old Davey Allison will be behind the bench. Allison was the head coach at PEI. He's been called up to the big leagues to replace Rick Bowness, who was fired yesterday. Now, Bowness is the 3rd coach in the NHL this season to be fired. He follows Demers and Tremblay, and they all got the axe this season.
For me, there's no gray area. There's no compromise. The coach is in charge. He says, we're doing this, and the players have to listen and have to do it as best they can. But in the same token, we know how secure they are in the whole thing, but you can't let that change the way you do things. You have to do what you think is right, and then you live with the consequences.
How about Ottawa? Started the season with a 5-3 record, then ended up losing 10 of their next 11.
I took a look when they fired Rick Bowness a couple of days ago, and I think he had 36 or 39 wins out of 200 and some odd games. I think they were pretty patient up in Ottawa. It's not Rick Bowness's fault that they don't have the talent. It's not Rick Bowness's fault that half the talent they've got isn't there, like Alexei Yashin. Unfortunately, as is always the case, coaches pay the price, Gordy.
I think that's true, Dale, and I think when you make a coaching change like the Montreal Canadiens have done that's been so successful, it's tempting for management to go out and do something like that to shock the team to improve the type of performance they've been getting.
They say Bowness wasn't able to handle the young kids properly like Alexander Daigle, and we'll see if 36-year-old Davey Allison has better success with that. Time now to move on to our relocation issue. And of course, there's lots of talk about the Jets moving out of town. What's your point of view on that?
Well, I'm a Western Canadian. I grew up in Saskatchewan. Obviously, I'd like to see teams in Western Canada. That's really the God's country for hockey. But unfortunately, the economic realities, as a player, I know that the big markets are where the future of this game is. The economics just won't allow small Canadian markets to compete.
I don't know. I think loyalty's missing in this game.
Well, the good news is the National Hockey League has not had as much relocation as the National Football League of late. Fact of the matter is, big business in all of sports dictates these sorts of things. Big money, not just ticket revenues. You've got to talk about luxury seating and club seating and personal seat licenses. I mean, it quite honestly glazes my eyes over after a while.
Now let's talk about Blaine Locker, and of course he's had lots of problems this year. Do you think it's more mental or mechanical?
Well, it's some of both. Certainly he's not the same mechanical goaltender he was last year. I think we've all recognized that he's been going down a lot more than he has been. He hasn't been challenging players. You'll see some examples. Last year, he was out on the top of his crease, looking very relaxed, challenging the shooters. You'll see another example of it here again. You just see he's just been a much more tense player this year. He's been, you'll see him go down early here, really commit himself before he had to.
He seems a bit off balance. Like, I know he's not that athletic a person anyhow, but he seems like he loses his balance very easily and falls backwards a lot.
And I'm not sure it's balance as much as it is mental aspect at that point. If you watch Blaine Locker in some of that footage this year, when he starts flopping around, Tom McVee's line a year ago when he's the assistant coach here is, if the crease wasn't frozen, you'd drown. And when he gets so that he's going to drown in that crease, you know he's moving around too much.
Which leads us to the next subject. The Toronto Star today says a deal is done for Curtis Joseph, and that's all that's left to be had is some minor details worked out between the Bruins and Curtis Joseph as far as a contract is concerned.
Well, I think that's been the rumor. I think whether it gets done or not, it needs to get done soon. I don't think it's good for the team or certainly the other goaltenders to have this sort of hanging over their heads. I think if the Bruins have an opportunity to get Curtis Joseph the way they are with their talent group, the Cam Neely's, Adam Oates, in that certain age that you really probably only have a 2 or 3 year horizon to really go after the Stanley Cup, that if Harry Sinnen has an opportunity to get a top flight goalie like Curtis Joseph, he will pull the trigger.
The deal, according to the Toronto Star, sends Sean McEachern, Mariusz Czerkowski, Sean Brown, last year's first-round draft pick, and one more first-rounder in the 1996 draft, sent to Edmonton. Curtis Joseph comes to Boston. A 4-for-1.
With all due respect, the Toronto Star has gotten 1 or 2 wrong in their lives. I'm not going to be stunned if they get 1 or 2 wrong in the rest of their careers. Look, do I think there's going to be a deal? Yes. Do I think that a deal will be done soon? Yes. Do I think it's necessarily going to be that group of players and draft picks? I think that remains to be seen.
And you're pretty sure that Harry Sinnen is working on it right now with Donnie Meehan up in Toronto?
Well, he's not here. He finished up the Hall of Fame material in Toronto yesterday. He was not around the Bruins offices today. In fact, the people within the Bruins organization said they weren't exactly sure where he was. I don't know whether he's working with Don Meehan or not, but that would be the logical choice. He's the agent for Curtis Joseph. You're not going to pull the trigger on this deal unless you get Joseph signed to a long-term contract.
And Las Vegas says he's played his last game for the Thunder, so you make your judgment out there. We have lots more to come. Stick with us, won't you? You're watching NESN, your ticket to Boston Bruins hockey.
Get in the game.
I believe in Buick. I believe in American pride. I believe in Buick. Buick, what I drive.
At Simwit, we have a variety variety of ways to save you at least $300 on your new Buick. So why pay high? Give Jim Witt a try. And save at least $300 on your new Buick at the Jim Witt Automotive Group in Lowell.
The Boston Bruins Corner Club. Check it out. If you love the Bruins, you love the Boston Bruins Corner Club. Join the club and you'll receive a Corner Club insulated mug and clip folder. Around the Corner, a biannual newsletter, Bruins gift wrapping, and a birthday card from your favorite player. So don't wait. Send your return address, phone number, birth date, and the names of your 2 favorite players, along with a check or credit card number today, and join the club.
Root Hockey Week, Friday at 11.
Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by your New England Ford dealers, where you can find 5 of the top 10 selling vehicles in America. By Bud Ice. It's not hockey without ice. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsor of the National Hockey League. By Fleet Bank and its 20,000 employees who support their hopes and dreams by supporting yours. And by your New England Toyota dealers. For Toyota value, it's simply the best. We're back live at the Fleet. Jets 1, Boston nothing after 20 minutes. There are half a dozen other games going on in the National Hockey League tonight, and Don Mitchell is watching every one of them. Don, what do you see so far?
Well, thanks, Brenda. Well, back here, we're focusing our attention on the team sitting currently atop the Northeast Division with a 1-point lead, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tonight, the Pens invade the Big Apple, where they were trying to put an end to the Rangers' 5-game home winning streak. And when you have a streak like that, you know it's going to be a goaltending matchup. Starting netminders Mike Richter and Tommy Barrasso will be the focus. Richter, though, has his work cut out for him with Lemieux and Yager, and he's tested early. Richter stoning Mario Lemieux on the breakaway. But the Rangers are the ones that hit the board first. Adam Graves setting up in the slot. He fires his 8th pass to make it 1-0. But the Pens counter. Jaromir Jagr steals, and he just rips a 40-foot snapper. And that goes right past Richter to tie it up at 1. But Luke Robitaille takes a Ray Ferraro pass, deets Barrasso, and slips it backdoor in for his 8th of the year to make it 2-1. But just moments ago, Mark Messier pots one, accounting for the 3-1 New York lead. Elsewhere around the league, the Devils have a 2-1 advantage over Florida. The Kings with the same advantage over the Flyers. Out in Toronto, the Maple Leafs are 2 up on the Blues in the first period. And in Washington, there's no score between the Caps and the Sharks. And out in Calgary, it's a 9:30 start between the Mighty Ducks and the Flames. And when we come back, Dale and Gordon will be back with the call of the second period. Stay with us as Boston Bruins hockey continues.
If we could see the future, we'd avoid hazardous driving conditions. But we can't. That's why Infiniti combined front-wheel drive with their patented rear suspension in the new i30. This provides enhanced traction on slippery roads and improves handling and stability. Personally, I prefer technology that handles the unexpected rather than predicts it. Don't you?
Now you can lease the Infiniti i30 at a very special rate for a limited time.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer, smoother, safer than Gillette Sensor XL, no matter what kind of skin you have.
I love you, little Jenny Catherine. I want to tell you something very, very important. Daddy got a raise. It means I can buy you a sandbox, sliding board. What do you think? Do you think we should put some of it away? What do you know about the stock market? I love you, little Jenny Catherine. Guess what? Daddy got a raise.
I'm sorry, Miss Anna, but it's only an old car. I mean, there's nothing special.
Would you look at that?
it's on your mind, it's on our bottles and cans. The Michelob Light Skiers 12-pack.
Dale Arnold, Gordy Kluzak, Brenda Brennan back at the Fleet Center where the Winnipeg Jets have a 1-0 lead over the Boston Bruins. End of the first period of play. Teemu Selanne is the guy who put the Winnipeg Jets on the board as you see the Bruins making their entrance. I'll tell you what, there are a lot of exciting superstars in the National Hockey League, and Gordy, that guy is amongst the very best.
He's got such dynamic skating ability, speed, balance, strength, and he always likes to hang around the net if he thinks there's a chance there may be an opportunity, and there he was. Eddie Olchuk anticipating that breakout pass, making a very nice cross-ice backhand pass to Teemu, who just kept it on along the ice and banged it in off the post.
Nikolai Khabibulin stopped all 11 Boston shots turned in his direction. Take a look at the face-off numbers. An old coach once told me face-off means possession. Possession means scoring chances. Winnipeg Jets dominating the Bruins in the face-off circle. Bruins had the only 2 power play opportunities of the first. 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Scott Bailey played pretty well.
Stopped a couple of what were pretty decent chances. The Bruins played fairly well defensively. At times they lapsed a little bit, giving the Winnipeg Jets some room to operate. Bruins power play again hurt them in the first period, 0 for 2. Certainly we can all look forward to Adam Oates' return in the next week or so.
You don't think he wants
certainly
him back,
help
do you?
that power play. I mentioned in the first period that they need to work the puck around a little more quickly, and Adam Oates is one of the best quick passers in the game.
Team's full strength, even-handed as we open up the second period. Puck cleared into the Boston end. Ray Bourque had to turn around quickly because Kachuk was bearing in on him like a freight train. Pass missed by Leach at center ice. Newmanen touches up the icing call against Boston.
Teppo Newmanen, bit of a folk hero in Winnipeg. Actually, fans are starting to write-in ballot for him to get on the All-Star ballot. He's truly one of the underrated players in the game. A +12 last season for Winnipeg on a team that which I mentioned earlier was the second worst defensive team in the league. Doesn't do a lot of things fancy, but he just does everything very well.
They move Selanne back at the point off the face-off, and that's why the drive that got blocked in front. Ed Donato tips it offensive end. Tried to turn Finley. Did. Backboards. Reed. Centering pass blocked. Bourque had come in from the blue line. Couldn't come up with the pass that was blocked in front of him. Dave Reed comes in with Leach. Donato trailing. Reed dumps to the corner. Chases it himself. Teemu Selanne gets it loose to Keith Kachuk. Kachuk sends it into the Boston end. Zombo back. Dave Reed bears back out with Donato, just slips it in wide of Khabibulin's cage, and the Bruins peel it off. Mullen, Stevens, and Todd Ellick up front. That's Ellick forechecking far side on Kachuk. Kachuk checked by Stevens. Darren Quint looking for Alexei Zhamnov. Manson checked by Ellick. Guzmanov leveled by Kasatonov. Ellick looking for Mullen, can't connect. Manson can't clear, blocked by Mullen. Dave Manson sent it out right to Ellick, waits for teammates to clear. Stevens back in, oh, just behind Mullen. Kicked it onto the stick blade, couldn't control. Ellick shot wide. Stevens deep looking for Mullen, cleared by Manson, not out, shot through the crease. Stevens missed the tip attempt. Igor Korolev can't clear. Kasatonov keeps it in. Kasatonov shot wide, glove side. Centering pass looking for Mullen, blocked by Manson. Manson lost it. Ellick drive high and wide, glove side.
Alexei Kasatonov there, inspired by that big body check. He intercepts that puck at the blue line, skates right in. Unfortunately, fired it high above the Winnipeg goal.
Kevin Stevens bears in, drops it off to Cam Neely. Neely muscles the weak backhander to the cage. Neely to the far circle for Ellick. Todd Ellick has Neely in front. Shot! Khabibulin somehow made the glove stop and holds on.
Cam Neely, out in his favorite spot about 10 feet in front of the goal. I don't think Cabby Boulin really knew where that puck was. Cam will just one-time it, hits it right into the midsection. Cabby Boulin took a quick peek behind him. Was relieved to see that it wasn't in the net. Good shift there by the Bruins, though. Forechecked very well. Won a lot of the one-on-one battles. Created a few turnovers and a couple of scoring opportunities.
22 years old and looks younger than that. Joseph Stumple can't keep it in. Jets clear it away to the Boston end. Bourque back. Ray Bourque lead feed Neely. Neely out with Stumple. Neely tried to go to Stumple, missed him. Bruins can't keep it in. Ed Ronan out, turns Bourque. Ronan using his speed, has Shannon in front, throws it through the crease. Bruins back out Stumple with McEachern. Stumple, offensive zone. Check into the corner looking for McEachern. Ronan got it by Neely. Darren Shannon clears it out. Eastwood tips to Ronan. Ed Ronan in, but Eastwood snuck in early, offside. 16:43 left to play in the second. 1-0, the Winnipeg Jets leading the Bruins.
Just how low will your Ford dealer go during the 10-day lowdown event?
Pretty low.
You can't get much lower than the $198 a month lease program on Contour that we're offering during our 10-day lowdown event. Plus, get the lowest lease payments of the year on Explorers.
Even lower.
Get the lowdown on these and other great offers at your New England Ford dealer now. But hurry, this event ends November 30th.
Last year, Sarin Durbin of Fleet helped over 140 families get a home mortgage because a dream isn't something you just want to rent. Carl Poulin approved over 900 business loans because your desire to succeed needs more than encouragement. And Beth Engel provided thousands of education loans so you could give someone you love a chance at a career, not just a job. At Fleet, over 20,000 employees support their hopes and dreams by supporting yours.
Ed Ronan, the former BU Terrier, showing a little speed here, beating Ray Bourque to the outside, but Ray is one of the best skaters in the league and recovers. John Gruden makes a good decision, saying that, okay, I bet you Ray will recover, and stays with his man all the way to the net.
It's a fairly safe bet, isn't it?
I know, I relied on it quite a few times.
I was going to say, you know that feeling. Shane Doan centering feed blocked by Reed. Bruins clear it out. Teppo Newman and back with Donato in pursuit. Reed steals, keeps it in. Reed for Donato. In front, shot stop. Leach score!
Couple of great decisions on that play. One by Dave Reed. Also Ted Donato. Good passing. Steve Leach persistent in front of the goal. You'll see Dave Reed intercept the puck here just inside the line. Make a nice pass into Ted Donato, who spots Steve Leach with a good pass. The Winnipeg defense got caught looking for the puck rather than eliminating Leach. If they'd just taken him out after the first shot, would have been all right. Turns around, looks for the puck. Puck bounces right back to Steve Leach. Big goal for the Bruins here.
Great play by Leach to keep his concentration on the rebound here. Bruins steal and keep it in again. Bourque blast, tipped. I think the goaltender got a piece of it. No, they said it was deflected by the Bruins over the glass and into the seats. They'll bring the draw out of the zone. Donato and Reed assist on the goal by Leach. Steve's fourth of the year. It comes at 3:42 of the second period. Face-off will come far circle outside the Winnipeg blue line. You just saw Steve Kasper reach over and give Steve Leach a big pat on the backside. Stevens forechecking for the Bruins, tips it past Quint to the corner. Ellis couldn't make the centering feed to Hines, deflected. Sweeney got locked up. Teemu Solani but fights the puck loose behind the net to the far wing. Keith Kachuk checked by Hines, lobs it out. Hand pass called against the Bees. Face-off will be whistled down in the neutral zone.
I haven't seen Keith Tkachuk play that much. I can see already in this first period why people are so high on him, why somebody would match a contract offer that pays him $6 million this year. He's a beautiful skater, and he's also, he led the team last year in penalty minutes, second all-star in the NHL on left wing after John Leclerc.
My numbers crunching friend here was figuring that out per game pregame, weren't you?
No, I just thought of it briefly.
Yeah, briefly enough to carry it out to 2 decimal points.
It's a lot of greens fees, I know that.
Darren Quint clears it out. Don Sweeney dumps it back in. Stevens coming in on Manson. Hines gloves it down with a nice play, sends it deep. Stevens rolled it in front. Bork can't quite control for the shot. Ellick for Hines. Shot. Khabibulin left pad save. Bruins picking up the forechecking pressure. Stevens intercepts, looking for Ellick in front. Great play by Bork to keep it in. He did it a second time. Gives it up to Hines in front. Stevens missed it. Sweeney shot from a tough angle wide. Stuck shot in front. Oh, Khabibulin got back to Rob Hines. Todd Ellick looking for Bork, bearing in. It's deflected. Solani lost it, or he'd have broken one-on-one against Sweeney.
Steve Hines had the open side of the net. All he had to do was flip it over. But Khabibulin flashed that pad out.
Great forechecking pressure from that line. Teemu Solani sends it into the Boston end. A wave off the icing call as Zombo could have played before the goal line. Sean McEachern missed Stumple. Zombo covers up, gives to Kasatonov. Stumple out with McEachern and Neely. McEachern clears in far corner. Tefo Newman in backboards. McEachern knocks it free, couldn't connect with Stumple. Jeff Finley far corner for Winnipeg. Neely steals center ice, leads McEachern back in with Stumple. Centering pass, tip, score!
Great play all around on that play there by the Bruins. Cam Neely very intelligently backing off on the forecheck, intercepts the puck in the neutral zone, fires it over to McEachern, and Joseph Stumple just goes driving right to the net. Sticks out one hand on the stick. Sean McEachern lays in a perfect pass. Stumple with one hand just redirects it. This line has been playing very well of late, and they're continuing it tonight. See McEachern just lay a nice little aerial pass. Joseph Stumple, 210 pounds, a very good skater. When he's driving to the net, he's extremely effective.
You get the feeling Terry Simpson senses this thing slipping from his grasp. Bruins have the only 5 shots on goal in the period, and Simpson has used his time out here.
Winnipeg has really got a little scrambly in their own zone here the last few minutes of this period. Sean McEachern, tough to play. I don't know if he's heard the rumors of his name being mentioned in the Joseph trade, but if he has, it doesn't seem like he's letting it affect him tonight.
Do you know a player who doesn't know every rumor that's out there? They read everything and devour everything. Zombo for Neely. Shot just off the left glove of Nikolai Khabibulin. Kasatonov can't clear it in. Jeff Finley for Winnipeg ahead. Igor Korolev kicked it back. Tefo Newman drives it in. Zombo looking to send Stumple streaking. Couldn't connect. Finley back. Will touch up the icing call against the Bruins. 13:22 left to play second period. 2-1 Bruins with the lead.
Joseph Stumple had a very promising season last year for the Bruins, playing mostly with Mariusz Czerkowski. Got off to a slow start this year, especially in training camp. Spent a little time with the Providence team, but he has really come back and played his very best hockey the last couple weeks, getting an opportunity to play in key situations on the power play, playing with Bruins' great right winger Cam Neely.
Draw to the right of Scott Bailey. Winnipeg's Shane Doan couldn't quite fire it the first time, had it blocked the second. Reed just missed keeping it in. Doan goes down. Penalty box boards. Gruden spun around by Darren Turcotte. That's Daryl Shannon sends it away to the Boston line. Doan comes in, chips it through the legs of Gruden. Got the centering feed out that hit the pipe to the right of Bailey. Chris King hit the post. King keeps it in, tries to turn it in front. Bork blocked it out.
Pretty good bet. If Chris King gets the puck on his stick, he's going to shoot. He's got 5 goals and no assists this year.
Give and go is not in his lexicon, is it? Just the go part. Donato, nice intercept. Puts it on net. Khabibulin, right pad save. King checked by Mullen. Reed can't quite control. Shane Doan. Out to center ice comes Mike Eastwood. From a tough angle, sends it through the crease. Mullen leads Ellick, breaking back out. Ellick, offensive zone, tries to get through the defense. Tied up by Manson. Ed Ronan clears it out, can't connect with Darren Shannon. John Roloff just bats it to the line. Eastwood kept it in with a nice play. Ed Ronan with it. Ronan. Shot off the stick of Scott Bailey deep. Here's Scott Bailey. He's yelling, keep working, boys, keep moving. John Roloff. Left side, Ellick. Bruins able to tip it out. Ronan sends it back into the Boston end. That's Shannon. Checked by Roloff in the corner. Ellick comes to help out. Pair of players aside.
Keep working! Keep working!
Here Bailey. He wants him to keep working all night long. Todd Ellick. Offensive zone. Sweeney the trailer. Ellick carries deep. Moves behind the net. Tried to pick off Quint on the cage. Couldn't quite do it. Stevens. One-hand pass for Neely. In front, Khabibulin. Rebound. Stevens stopped Khabibulin. Puck cleared by the Jets. Penalty call coming up to Winnipeg, I believe. We'll get an icing call here. Jets going to be called for a hold. Bruins will get the power play when we come back. 10:51 left to play in the second. Bruins with a 2-1 lead.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air with nearly 5,000 flights a day. U.S. Air is the airline that connects over 200 business centers nationwide. U.S. Air, committed to serving each and every passenger, one at a time.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
I flew into town to save our biggest account, and wouldn't you know, the airline lost my luggage. I'll have you fit in no time, the salesman said as he showed me Palm Beach's new Suited For You collection. Customized clothing right off the rack. Separately sized jackets, single or double-breasted. And trousers, plain or pleated, with guaranteed fabric match. Palm Beach Suited For You. It's a jungle out there, and only the fit survive.
Now available at Eastern Clothing of Watertown.
The 2 power forwards for the Bruins, Cam Neely and Kevin Stevens, causing the Jets some trouble here. Cam will wheel around with a backhand, and Kevin Stevens will beat his man, break loose from the corner, fire a quick shot in on Khabibulin, who had to make a good pad save. Bruins get a power play opportunity out of that good aggressive forechecking.
Ed Ronan picked up the holding penalty at 9:09 of the period. Bruins with the man advantage for the 3rd time tonight. 2 previous power plays, they've had 1 total shot on goal. Jets clear that one down length of the ice. See, now I would call that a shot on goal, Corey. Didn't go up on the shots on goal clock, but if the netminder doesn't stop it, it's in the cage. That's got to be a shot, doesn't it?
This year with the Bruins, it certainly should be.
Bork back takes it from Bailey. 9-1 shots on goal advantage for the Bruins here in the second. Neely clears it in. Bork into the corner. Back for Stumple. Now to Bork. Bork playing the hash marks. Ray Bork. Great feed back to Donato. Shot. Khabibulin save. McEachern deep. Couldn't connect with Stumple. Stumple checked far circle. Bork gets it deep for McEachern. McEachern great feed in front. Stumple shot stopped Khabibulin. Joseph Stumple looking for McEachern. Ties up Manson. Neely with the puck. Cam Neely. Stuff shot. Stopped. Stumple can't control. Manson clears to the corner. Sean McEachern wrapped up by Darren Turcotte. Hold down penalty call. Stumple in front looking for Neely. Grabbed by Manson. Madison. Could have been another penalty call. Bruins will have a two-man advantage when we come back. 9:41 left to play in the second. Let's check in at Madison Square Garden. Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Back to the Nesson Studios with Don Mitchell.
How bad do the Rangers want to extend their home winning streak? Just ask Stephane Matteau. He digs up his driver's rebound and bangs it home. His first of the year makes it 4-1 Rangers. Galen Gord.
There you can see Darren Turcotte, who just grabbed Sean McEachern and hauled him down. Turcotte protesting, but I think we can show him some fairly irrefutable proof.
Basically climbed up on Sean's back and then flung him to the ice. McEachern with a very nice quick little backhand pass, anticipating Stumple breaking through the middle just off the post.
Yeah, I thought the goaltender made the save on that one, but you can see just off the outside of the post.
Two-man advantage here for the Bruins. Joey Mullen back on the point. Cam Neely and Kevin Stevens on their off wings. Look for the Bruins to try to work it into them on their probably about 10 feet out to either Khabiboulin's right or left for that one-time quick shot.
Donato centers for Neely and Stevens. Bourque and Mullen at the points.
Important face-off here. There's only 50 seconds left in the first minor to the Jets.
Jamnov gains easily. We said the Jets have dominated in the face-off circle, but the Bruins are able to get control. Neely, high slot Donato. Ray Bourque. In front, Stevens getting roughed up. Bourque, blast. Great glove stop, Khabibulin.
Bit of overkill, I think, here for the Bruins, with Cam and Kevin both standing about a foot from each other in front of Khabibulin. Maybe better if one of them spread off a little bit off to the side.
Just prior to that, Khabibulin was really roughing up Stevens. Joe Mullen fakes the drive. High slot Donato. Ted Donato for Mullen. One-timer Khabibulin saves. Stevens rebound gloved out of the air.
Khabibulin with a good play there to control that rebound. A couple of 50-goal scorers right around your crease. Want to grab as many loose pucks as you can.
23 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Draw to the right of Nikolai Khabibulin, who has faced 13 shots in this period. Ted Donato and Alexei Jamnov. Teppo Newman into the corner. Gets tied up. Bruins Stevens works it loose. Donato lost it. Jamnov cleared. Bailey comes out, try to help Bourque quickly take advantage of a change. Mullen back in. 5 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Donato shot, save, rebound, covered up by Khabibulin. Well, Ronan started to come out of the box. There's still 1 second left in his penalty time. He steps back in.
Bruins taking, I think, too many shots from the perimeter for a 5-on-3 advantage. Really missing out on an opportunity to work it in close. Work it to an open side where you get perhaps an open net.
Stumple to take the face-off, this time against Mike Eastwood. Bourque and Donato man the points. Bruins gain. One man back for Winnipeg. Donato missed the pass. Bruins catch a break. Neely deep to the corner for Stumple. Stumple had it deflected, gloves it down, goes back to Bourque at the line. Ray Bourque, wrister, Khabibulin glove save, holds on. Stevens cruising for the rebound.
Ray Bourque makes so many great decisions at all times, and he makes good offensive decisions. Why he leads the team in shots all the time is he gets it away. Very rarely will you see him get a shot blocked here, and he just fires a quick little wrist shot where maybe some guys might look to fire a little harder shot. Ray recognized that the Jet penalty killer would have been on him too quick for any longer of a windup.
55 seconds left in the Bruins power play, their fourth of the night. 0 for 3 with a man advantage. Neely behind the net, free to the corner for Stevens. Kevin Stevens at the hash marks. Deep for Stumple. Stumple behind the net. Gives to Stevens. Neely in front. Stevens. Near corner, Stumple. Stumple. Stevens. Neely. Looking for Stumple. Couldn't connect. Neely in the corner. Stevens in front. Neely behind the net. Checked by Jeff Finley. Kicks it neatly to Stumple. Stevens in front. Stumple started out. Stumple looking for Stevens. Bork. Blast. Score!
I mentioned earlier how many great decisions Ray Bork makes here. Just gets the puck and quickly fires a hard, low shot that Khabibulin really has no chance on. Just watch how quickly Ray Bork is able to get that puck in shooting position and fire it hard.
No little wrist shot there for Ray Bork's 9th of the year. Power play goal. Stumple will get an assist. We'll check the second one for you. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen him play better than he has over the course of the first 19 games now of the season.
Particularly the last 10 or so, he's been absolutely dominant. In fact, that 9th goal now puts him in a goal-scoring tie for the lead of the team with Cam Neely.
Jets trailing by a pair. Bruins called for the hand pass at the Boston blue line. 7:39 left to play here in the second. 3-1, the Boston Bruins with a lead over the Winnipeg Jets.
While we had the '85 Camry, we put 3 kids through school, moved twice, and had 3 presidents. 2 since I made the last payment. I figured I was ready for a new one.
When a product far exceeds your expectations, when it's affordable to start with and worth more long after it's paid for, that saves you money. That's real value.
You know, this new one could last 20 years.
Hustling and bustling for this season's best values can be a breeze if you shop with this, the Big Payback Value Book, and this, your Discover Card. You can get over $170 in cash rebates on top name brand gifts for the holidays. Just send us your receipts, and you can wrap up big savings without all the runaround. It pays to Discover, the card with the big payback. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Joseph Stumple, who scored a goal earlier in the period. Bruins catch a bit of a break here. Puck deflects right to Ray Bork. Just blasts it by.
Tough to stop what you can't see, isn't it? And that was a gamma ray. Kasatonov left side looking for Reed. Tips it out past Duran Quinn. Ed Olczyk sends it back in. Keith Kachuk, backhand, wide, stick side. Steve Leach, who has a goal tonight for the Bees. Kasatonov comes out. Defenseman falls down. Kasatonov in. Shot off the outside of the net. Not necessarily the guy you want rushing with a defenseman down. Teemu Selanne the other way. Olczyk to the cage. Tips it home.
Alexei Kasatonov, who had made a very good play on the offensive zone, couldn't get back completely on the defensive side. And you'll see here in the center of your screen, Ed Olczyk beat him to the net. Just do the one-handed tip. Second goal we've seen like that this period. Earlier, Joseph Stumple scored one like that for the Bruins. Ed Olczyk's always had good speed. He's had a couple of 40-goal seasons in his career. Really struggled the last few years. He's certainly playing well tonight.
4th goal of the season for Olczyk. We've got a 1-goal game once again at 3-2. Bruins have outshot Winnipeg 16-3 in this period, and yet have only a 1-goal lead. Ray Bork leaves it for Joseph Stumple. Jeff Finley center ice. Cam Neely intercepts, waits for teammates to clear. Neely looking for McEachern. Tipped by Stumple. Finley knocks it out. Penalty box boards McEachern. Serves it back into his own zone. Ray Bork Darren Turcotte sort of forechecking. Stumple out with McEachern. Drop past McEachern. McEachern drive wide, stick side. Zombo in from the blue line. Rick Zombo centering pass blocked. McEachern ties up the man. Zombo shot stopped by Khabibulin. Shane Doan splits the defense pair. Wave off the icing call. Todd Ellick back into his own end to get it. Bruins lob it in, change it up.
Rick Zombo and Alexei Kasatonov putting the offensive pressure here on the Jets in this period.
Not necessarily what Steve Kasper has in mind, I doubt. Jets, Igor Korolev. Shift along the line. Malgunas couldn't keep it in. Sends it deep as the Jets clear the zone.
Alexei did a lot of skating on that previous shift to still be out there.
Korolev keeps it in at the line. Hines ties him up. Bruins work it out. And Kasatonov is up trying to lead the charge again. Khabibulin covers it up the side of his own net and holds on. 5:03 left to play in the second. 3-2 Bruins with the lead. Alexei was the guy who had the scoring opportunity. Defenseman Dave Manson fell down.
He made a pretty good move on Khabibulin there. He drove right in on him, held onto the puck, just couldn't quite get the backhand shot in the net. He had Khabibulin down. Alexei's leading the Bruins in plus-minus. He was a +6 coming into this game. He's played pretty darn well the last couple of games since he's been put back into the lineup.
Bruins, nice job to keep it in. Roloff then had his shot blocked. Jets come out. Roloff breaks it up, looking for Donato. Takes the body. Bruins grab the puck. Leach drive. Khabibulin save, holds on. 4:48 left to play in the second. Bruins holding on to a 3-2 lead.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer, smoother, safer than Gillette Sensor XL, no matter what kind of skin you have.
Wilson's incredible under $20 leather gift sale. You see, money really is no object. Wilson's, the leather experts. Call 1-800-3-LEATHER for the store nearest.
You'll see Ted Donato here, who assisted on a Steve Leach goal earlier in the period, working hard, spitting the puck free for his right winger to break in and have a good scoring opportunity. Good hard slap shot in Khabibulin, who came out and played the angle well.
Why is that not obstruction interference? Roloff shot wide, glove side. Breaking with it is Keith Tkachuk. Shot stopped by Bailey. Turned to the cage by Olczyk. Bailey kicked it wide. Turcotte to the corner. Shot calmly gloved out of the air by Bailey. He'll hold on for the face-off. Thank you.
Keith Tkachuk. He's got 9 goals in 16 games. Somehow gets in behind the Bruins defense. Gets in behind Roloff. Scott Bailey comes out very calmly, stays right with the puck. Big save here. Bruins having really outplayed the Jets this period, out shooting them 18-5. If the game was to be tied at 3-3, would be very much of a letdown. But Bailey makes the save and certainly picks up the Bruins' spirits.
Teppo Numminen shot, gloved out of the air by Bailey. He'll take another face-off in his own end. 4:23 left to play in the second. Let's check the out-of-town scoreboard for you. Boy, down at Madison Square Garden, New York Rangers whooping up on the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-1. New Jersey and Florida tied at 2 in the second, as are Los Angeles and Philadelphia. Toronto with a 2-0 lead over St. Louis in the second. Caps lead the Sharks 1-0 in the second. Anaheim, Calgary begin just about 25 minutes from now. Ice repair going on to the left of goaltender Scott Bailey. Remember the other night during the St. Louis game, I told you that I couldn't figure out what was on Scott Bailey's mask? We saw it there a moment ago. And I even asked Scott Bailey, I said, what is all that stuff? And he said, oh, I don't really know. Well, a 10-year-old called Nesson and said, I know what's on Scott Bailey's mask. It's off a comic book. It's a guy named Venom. Now, you look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like that mask you just saw. 10-year-olds know everything.
I'm not absolutely convinced yet.
I am. Mike Eastwood. Stuff shot in front. Penalty call to the Bruins, their first of the night. Stumple's going to go off for interference. Jets will get their first power play opportunity of the night. 4:03 left to play here in the second. Bruins holding on to a 1-goal lead.
Part of Joseph Stumple's better play has been defensive intensity. And here you can't really fault him for taking Ed Ronan out right in front of Bailey. Working hard to get back in the play. Really prevented a scoring opportunity. It's the type of penalty that I'm sure Steve Kasper would not be that upset about.
Jets put the power play to work for the first time tonight. 17 power play goals and 109 tries. Successful 15.6% of the time. Now, see, take a look, Gordy. See the things up on the top and see the teeth and whatever the heck that is coming out there. Now, look at that. That 10-year-old was right. It is Venom. Power play, Winnipeg Jets. Newmanen shot blocked by Reed, can't clear. Newmanen keeps it in. Handed it right to Sweeney, and he'll send it down. Bobby Bulin away from Steve Hines, forecheck. Alexei Zhamnov for Teppo Newmanen. I'll tell you what, you should see these guys skate and move. Kachuk, Solani, Korolev, Zhamnov, Newmanen, the power play unit on the ice for Winnipeg. Solani in the corner, loses to Boards, backboards Korolev. Igor Korolev, back to Teppo Newmanen. High slot Zhamnov, Korolev, far side, Solani shot, Bailey save. 3:16 left to play in the second, 1:13 left in the Winnipeg power play. Coming up in our second intermission, Brenda's joined by Melrose native Jet winger Keith Kachuk, just looking for a rebound there a moment ago. Don Mitchell back at the Nesson Studios. We'll have an update on Mario and Messier. Plus, we'll recap all our action. That's our lineup for the second intermission. Kachuk looking to kind of bat it out of Scott Bailey's glove. Got roughed up a little bit as he went through the crease. I don't think it phases him much. Donato and Zhamnov on the faceoff. Newmanen keeps it in, sends it behind the Bruins net. Sweeney fires it away to the near side. McEachern ties up Kachuk. Zhamnov can't keep it in. McEachern trying to check him. Zhamnov turns it back into the Boston zone. Sweeney poke check clears the zone. Igor Korolev back to Teppo Newmanen. Newmanen fires it in wide. Donato checked by Solani. Bork gets it off the stick of Newman into the blue line, but not out. Bork backboards, chops. Solani for Korolev. Igor Korolev back to Zhamnov. Now to Newmanen. Zhamnov. Korolev cross-ice. Bork deflects. Zhamnov for Solani. Korolev in the high slot. Kachuk camped in front. Solani in front looking for Kachuk. Sweeney deflects. Zhamnov shot, Bailey saved, rebound in front, Bailey stop, rebound score, Keith Kachuk on the power play.
The only North American on that power play is the one that finally scores for the Winnipeg Jets. But the Europeans that were out there with him were moving the puck extremely well. Kachuk just persistent in front of Bailey, breaks loose from Donnie Sweeney and Ray Bork, puts a backhand shot in. Game is tied.
You don't think Korolev, Solani, and Kachuk mean much to the offense of this team, do you? And they all combined on that power play goal. 3-3 the score despite a 18-9 shots on goal advantage for the Bruins here in the second period. Kasatonov offensive zone. Joe Mullen checked by Darren Turcotte. Mullen fights loose. Mullen with it. Mullen in front. Khabibulin save. Darren Turcotte breaks back out with King and Doan. King backhand through the crease. Bruins tap it out. Here comes Ellick. Mullen with him. Ellick sends it in. Khabibulin slows it up for Manson. Gives to Chris King. King out of the zone for Shane Doan. Doan into the Boston end. Drop pass. Missed Turcotte. Puck grabbed by Ellick. Slides it loose to Stumple or Stevens, I should say, as he took the hit. Mullen comes in looking for Kasatonov. Threw it behind him. Kasatonov keeps it in with a nice play. Stevens, far corner for Mullen. Van. Bork keeps it in. Bork backhand, hit Mullen, went wide. Ellick for Stevens, couldn't collect. Mullen near wing, fights loose of the check, falls down. Shane Doan grabs it, less than a minute to play in the period. Puck lobbed into the Boston end. Wave off the icing call, didn't make the goal line. Bork breaks out, past Ed Ronan, stick check. Bork, offensive zone. Bork with an eye for the net, carries behind the net. Bork near corner checked. Left it for Stumple. Joseph Stumple. Wrapped up by Eastwood. Stumple taken down. Fans wanted a penalty call, didn't get it. Jets clear the zone.
You can see there why Newman is so popular with Winnipeg fans. Anybody that can handle Ray Bork with a full head of steam one-on-one must be very strong.
Cam Neely drive. Khabibulin save. Neely in the corner deflects it deep. McEachern trying to turn from the check and does. Knocked off his stick. McEachern for Gruden. Deep Donato centering pass blocked. McEachern with it in front looking for Neely. Can't get to it. 3 seconds left. Ed Ronan breaks. Will he get a shot? Yes, but the siren sounds. An action-packed second period of play. Scott Bailey faced 9 shots in the period, gave up 2 goals. Teemu Selanne scoring in this one, as did Ed Olczyk and Keith Tkachuk. Leach, Stumple, and Bork for the Bruins. We're tied at 3-2. Let's find out what's in store between periods. Downstairs with Brenda Brennan.
Thanks, Dale. Coming up on our second intermission, Melrose, Massachusetts main man Keith Tkachuk joins us live in our studios. Plus, we'll update you with all that's happening around the rest of the National Hockey League. You're watching NESN, your ticket to Boston Bruins hockey.
Day 3 of your ski trip. You wake up, and it's painfully obvious. There's absolutely no way you could possibly ski one more day.
Oh, boy.
Unless, of course, it's free. Get a free day of skiing when you buy a multiple day pass with the certificate inside specially marked Michelob Light Skiers 12 packs.
If you buy a Cavalier today, we wouldn't be surprised if by the time it's scheduled for a tune-up, you've already got it paid off. If by the time it needs new rear shocks, you have your master's degree. If by the time it needs a transmission fluid change, your baby is in first grade. Or if by the time it needs a new muffler, we've elected 2 presidents. Any car can be easy to buy. Cavalier is easy to own.
The 1996 Cavalier, starting at just $10,995 from your neighborhood Chevy Geo dealer.
Last year, Jim Finelli of Fleet set up over 80 retirement plans because after all your hard work, you deserve something to look forward to. And David Freusia is just one of over 900 Fleet employees helping Special Olympians achieve their personal best. And Lynn Randall provided businesses with over $200 million in new credit so they could compete at any level. At Fleet, over 20,000 employees support their hopes and dreams by supporting yours.
Here's an interesting new twist. Only a Sony Handycam Vision Series camcorder has the new swivel screen color viewfinder. Shooting is easier and playback is instant, so the fun is easy to watch, even when it's something you'd rather not see. Sony Handycam with swivel screen. Life can be so simple.
Now, from October 14th through November 27th, pay nothing for at least 12 months on all Sony Handycam camcorders. Available at Lechmere.
goals scored in the second period here at the Fleet, and we are joined now on our second intermission by Keith Tkachuk, the Winnipeg Jets power forward. Keith, you got to be happy to come out of that period tied 3-3. I mean, it seemed the Bruins really outplayed you at times.
Yeah, we're extremely happy that we came out 3-3. We're in for a battle here, and they really took it to us that period, and the momentum really shifted. But we got a couple of goals, and whoever win the third period, you win the hockey game.
Talk about your goal.
Well, wasn't much to it. All the other guys were passing around, and I just stood in front of the net and took the rebound, and that's my job. I guess that's what I get paid for. I mean, if they keep shooting, we'll get those rebounds.
Now, you're on the ice tonight with two other guys who were on Boston University's team from 90 and 91. Kind of bring back a lot of memories for you?
Yeah, it does. It's good to see those guys. You don't see them very often. Sean and Eddie Ronan, playing with Eddie right now, but it's good to play against Sean. And I know a lot of the guys in the team, but, this 2 points is really big for us. We need it, and it'd be nice to especially beat those guys.
You're from Melrose. Tell me what you think of the Fleet Center.
Well, from Medford, we keep on making that mistake, but, the Fleet Center is nice. It's a nice building. It's too bad, we can't play in the other building. The other building was great, and you grow up watching it in there. But, it's good to get a new building here, and it's good to play here in front of the family and friends.
What's it like playing in Winnipeg these days with the attendance factor and the uncertainty about the team?
Oh, it's not fun at all, but we know the situation. We don't blame the fans up there, and we just got to go out and make it the best year possible for the Winnipeg Jets.
Now, Keith, you were a holdout earlier this season. I want to know what your view on free agency in the National Hockey League is at this point.
Well, first on that holdout thing, I wasn't a holdout. I played by the rules. I didn't have a contract, but it was tough sitting home watching the guys in training camp. But I fought for what I believed in, and I was a free agent. I pursued that, and my agent did a great job for me.
Now you come back, you sign the big contract, and you get stripped of the C. Tell me, what was that like for you?
Oh, I was really disappointed. I told them that I didn't think it was right what they did to me, but you sign a $17 million contract, and I'm very happy with that.
Let's see, it's $6 million this year, which makes you second in the league only to Wayne Gretzky in pay scale for this season. How many people have asked you for a loan?
A lot of people have joked around about it, but, I'm very happy about that. But, the bottom line is winning hockey games. I'm very happy with the money, but I just want to win and get in the playoffs.
Talk about this hand here. Broken thumb?
Yeah, I broke my thumb. I got slashed by Denny Savard, and I got a big cast on it here. I just got to play through it.
Now, is it molded to fit the stick, or what is that?
Yeah, it's just, they mold it when they put it on. It's really a pain. It's just a matter of adjusting your game a little bit, and I'd rather be playing than sitting in the press box.
Thanks very much for being with us, Keith Tkachuk.
Thank you.
There's much more to come on our second intermission. Don Mitchell will have NHL scores and highlights coming your way next. You're watching NESN Boston Bruins hockey.
Sportscast your schedule 7 days a week. Weekdays with Dawn Mitchell, a revolving 15-minute sports report from 5 to 9 a.m. and from noon to 1. Weekends with Bob Rogers. More sports, more desk. Every 30 minutes from 6 a.m. to noon. NESN Sports Desk. 15 minutes for breakfast, 15 for lunch, and 30 minutes on the weekend. Get in the routine.
Peoria will be aiming at the Scorpions. Arizona baseball, Saturday at 7.
The Boston Bruins and Anton's Cleaners are proud to announce Coats for Kids. Just donate your new or used winter coats at any Anton's location and become eligible to win free Bruins tickets. Visit your local Anton's Cleaners or call 851-3721 for information.
Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Infiniti, the luxury automobile company ranked best overall car line in initial quality by J.D. Power and Associates. By Fleet Bank and its 20,000 employees who support their hopes and dreams by supporting yours. And by Harvard Community Health Plan. We're what healthcare should be. By GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore. It's quality on the road. And by Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette Series, the best a man can get. We're back live at the Fleet Center in Boston, Winnipeg and Boston, all knotted up at 3 after 40 minutes of play. Excuse me. There's lots of action going on in the National Hockey League tonight, and Dawn Mitchell has the best seat in the house. She's back at our Nesson studios. Dawn, what's happening?
Well, thanks, Brenda. Well, tonight in New York, Mario Lemieux looks to continue his quest for points per game. He has notched at least a point in every contest he's played so far this year. Going into tonight's action, Lemieux has 17 goals and 24 assists, despite only playing in 13 of Pittsburgh's 17 games. But tonight in number 18, we'll see if he can keep it going. But Mario just may have to turn into Superman because the Rangers took off. Mark Messier scooting in, picking up this loose puck, beating Tommy Barrasso. Messier's line are good for 6 points in the first. Now, how bad do the Rangers want it? Stephane Matteau digging out the rebound, putting it right past, and that's 4-1 Rangers. Next, it's our friend and yours, Alfie drives to the net. He's popped, but Pat Verbeek knocks home that loose puck. That's Verbeek's 9th, and we've got a 5-1 game. Can you believe this? It's against Pittsburgh. Verbeek wasn't done, though. What an effort. Once, twice, 3 times a charm. 6-1 is the score, and that's where they stand so far at the end of 2. Pat Verbeek with 3 points so far, and so far, Lemieux is off the score sheet. Well, the Celtics have the night off after dropping a well-fought battle to the Houston Rockets last night at the Fleet Center. But believe it or not, the C's are shooting 47% compared to their opponents' 46%. The Celtics, though, have a problem from downtown. They are hitting just 23% from three-point land, while their opponents are better at 33%. Maybe the C's can find the range down in Charlotte. They're back in action tomorrow night against the Hornets. Meanwhile, tonight around the NBA, as we look at the scores, you can see that Supersonics have a 1-point lead over the Raptors at the half. Dallas leads Chicago. Neck and neck, it's very close in Denver as they're just underway. And out in L.A., it's a 10:30 start. Now, we haven't updated you on the rest of the scores around the NHL. And we're going to tell you that around in Florida, the Panthers have a 3-2 lead over the Devils in the second. Out in Philly, they're tied between the Flyers and the Kings at 2 apiece. In Toronto, the Leafs are up 3-1 in the second over the Blues. And out in Washington, the Sharks and the Jets are all knotted up at 1. And finally in Calgary, as we said before, that's a 9:30 start. So up next, Brenda will be back with a recap of the first and second periods. And that's all between the Bees and the Jets. Don't go away as Boston Bruins hockey continues.
Choosing the right new car can be difficult, but when you get the right information... on the road. And both Corolla and Corolla Wagon have been rated a best overall value. The decision really is easy when you have the right information.
Simply the best. Face it, no other razor shaves closer, smoother, safer than Gillette Sensor XL, no matter what kind of skin you have.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time. Here's an interesting new twist. Only a Sony Handycam Vision Series camcorder has the new swivel screen color viewfinder. Shooting is easier and playback is instant, so the fun is easy to watch, even when it's something you'd rather not see. Sony Handycam with swivel screen. Life can be so simple.
Now, from October 14th through November 27th, pay nothing for at least 12 months on all Sony Handycam camcorders. Available at Lechmere.
Some guests appearing on Bruins hockey receive a gift certificate to Eastern Clothing of Watertown. John and Paul Arashin wish happy holidays to the Bruins fans. For a great selection of men's suits, visit Eastern Clothing of Watertown, open Sunday 12 to 5 through Christmas. We are back live at the Fleet Center, all knotted up at 3 after 2. 5 second period goals brings the score to 3-3. Goals by Leach, Stumple, Bork, Olchek, and Kachuk. Let's take a look at the game recap slide now. Look at Boston outshooting Winnipeg 31-20 right there. And as you can see, that's the 8th time this season the Bruins have blown a 2-goal lead. Time now to head upstairs to Dale Arnold and Gord Kluzak.
Boy, it was a pretty good show there in the second period, Gordy. We only had 29 shots on goal in the 20 minutes played. Bruins had 20 of the 29. Joseph Stumple and Keith Kachuk putting on shows for their respective teams.
Certainly Joseph Stumple, who has really come into his own. He had 4 points in the 3 games coming into this, and he scores here tonight. Sean McEachran, very nicely timed pass. Joseph Stumple using that good skating speed that he has, driving to the net, just reaching out and deflecting the puck by the Winnipeg goaltender.
Of course, as we said, the Bruins outshot Winnipeg 20-9 in the period, but it was the Jets who came back with the final 2 goals of the stanza. Ed Olchek got his 4th of the year at 13:03 to make it a 3-2 game. And on the power play, boy, oh boy, watch this tape-to-tape stuff.
Great puck movement. This is the end result. A hard slap shot in from Zamnov, and Kachuk will work himself free from Ray Bork in front of the net and put the backhand shot by Bailey. But I tell you what, when you see the way the Winnipeg Jets move that puck around in the power play, you want to be awfully certain of a penalty you take if you're a Bruins player out there tonight.
We've talked throughout the course of the year about how tough it is to move guys like, you know, Cam Neely and Kevin Stevens from in front of the net. I mean, Keith Kachuk is in that class absolutely, and not that dissimilar size-wise at 6'2", 210. There's another guy who's pretty tough to move out of the lineup, that is. They did some research, our crack Nesson statisticians. These are all guys who were drafted in 1979. Since then, a grand total of 1,256 games have been played that were possible for this draft class to play in. I mean, the top number is amazing enough. I never would have guessed Gardner has played in 96% of them. Look at Ray Bork. He's played in 91% of the games that he possibly could have played in since he was drafted in 1979. And I guarantee you that none of those other guys have played anywhere near the minutes that he's played over that span.
Probably 2 of the other ones will certainly join Ray in the Hall of Fame someday, Mike Gartner and Mark Messier. But you're right, Dale. Ray Bork, of all those games that he's played, he plays in all the key situations. He battles you physically. He leads the team's offense. He's really a great, great player.
1,165 games. And Lord knows how many minutes. Look at this little guy. A couple of the guys, one in the older jersey, one in the newer jersey. Peering from behind Nikolai Khabibulin's cage.
These 2 little guys look like they might have a little Finnish blood in them. Certainly a Finnish flavor to the Winnipeg Jets.
They got the wrong jerseys on to be rooting for Teemu Selanne, though, don't they?
Absolutely.
Tied up at 3. 20 minutes, at least, to go in this one. Shot in, sticked aside by Bailey. Kachuk, who has the tying goal on the power play. Bruins able to clear it out.
It's important the Bruins get back to that strong forechecking game they were able to dominate the Jets in the first part of that second period. Very disciplined approach, winning the one-on-one battles down low.
Bruins clear it in. You've got Donato, Reed, Leach up front. Leach in the corner trying to dig it out from the skates of his teammate Dave Reed. Left it for Reed, checked by Jeff Finley, keeps the feet moving. Teemu Selanne put it into the skates of the referee. That gives Sweeney a chance to steal. Kachuk and Sweeney kind of jawing with each other, and here comes Teemu Selanne. Out with Ed Olchek, broken up by Ted Donato. Don Sweeney missed Steve Leach with a pass. Manson touches up an icing call. 19:03 left to play. Don Sweeney just sort of slammed the door as he went to the bench, upset with himself. Either that or he was upset with Keith Kachuk, but either way, he went over and kind of slammed the door shut as he sat down. You can see he's a real happy guy.
Made a good defensive play, standing Teemu Selanne up in the center zone, and then he missed the transition back to Ted Donato. I think that's what he's upset with.
Todd Ellick and Alexei Zhamnov on the face-off. Manson at the near point. Gets the shot into the chest protector of Bailey, and he holds on. Pretty good shot by Manson from the blue line.
Good interference off the face-off by the Winnipeg Jets, allowing Dave Manson all the time in the world to tee that shot up. We'll see the puck come back here. I think it's Gusmarov will hold Joey Mullen away, and Dave Manson basically has all day to tee it up. Bailey had a good view of it all the way in.
Gusmanov turned it to the net, kind of a change-up that Bailey had to make a quick move on with the left pad. Zhamnov's shot, tip attempt missed by Gusmanov. Darren Quint sends it back in. Rick Zombo back to play. He's paired on the blue line with Alexei Kasatonov. Zombo out for Ellick. Ellick up with Stevens and Mullen. Ellick deep, checked by Quint. Stevens backboards battles with Korolev. Tried to feed Ellick in front. Gained and cleared by Manson. Zhamnov tips it in past Kasatonov. Zombo back plays it away to the near side, and Ellick works it out.
Darren Quint there in that previous play made a good defensive play on Todd Ellick.
Korolev's shot deflected by Kasatonov and grabbed by Bailey. I wonder what it's like for some of these young Russian kids, Zhamnov there, and some of the other guys, Korolev, when they go out and play against a guy like Kasatonov. We've talked about this in the past. I don't think Bruins fans understand how big a deal Alexei Kasatonov is back in the former Soviet Union, now Russia. I mean, these guys are playing against somebody that they grew up idolizing.
Absolutely. Kasatonov and Fedosov are really the Bobby Orr and Brad Park of the Soviet Union. For many of these young players growing up, it must be a thrill to be out on the ice with a player like Alexei Kasatonov.
Ray Bourque for Joseph Stumple. Checked by King, but got it out. Stuart Malgunas fires it in. John Gruden takes it back. Sean McEachern missed Stumple.
Bruins have to be careful not to sit back on their heels. They've had a tendency to do that this year. Get back on the aggressive forecheck. Be disciplined about getting the puck into the Winnipeg zone.
Ray Bourque back to play. Side of his own net. Turns away from Shane Doan. Gruden out for McEachern. Off the boards for Stumple. Quick feed. Neely had trouble controlling. Malgunas heard the freight train coming. Stumple. Deep for Neely. Neely for Stumple, just deflected away. Aaron Turcotte comes out. Turcotte, great shift past Gruden. Tripped up, penalty call.
Turcotte, who took a really foolish penalty in the second period, basically hauling down Sean McEachern here, uses his speed and agility to draw a penalty, forcing John Gruden to pull him down. Gruden trying to stand him up at the blue line, which is a good thing. Just got caught a little bit flat-footed, forced to sort of pull him down. He also kind of got his stick caught in between Turcotte's legs.
Well, we saw a passing clinic when the Winnipeg Jets were on the power play. The final couple of minutes of that last period, Keith Kachuk capped it off with his 10th goal of the year. Steve Kasper's Bruins are going to have to find an answer to kill this one off, or they'll go a goal down. Second power play for the Jets. Kachuk at the point at the moment, gives to Zhamnov. Don Sweeney, nice intercept. Clears at length of the ice.
Good pursuit by Donnie. Followed Zhamnov all the way out to the blue line. Created a turnover.
Jets come out. Zhamnov broken up. Teppo Numanen. Ted Donato picks it off, sends it down. Teppo Numanen back in his own zone. Numanen comes out, fires it in. Dave Reed near wing, able to get it and clear it out.
Dave Reed is just impossible to knock off his skates. When he gets control of that puck, you know there's a good chance it's going to be going out.
Teemu Selanne comes in on the near side. Igor Korolev for Zhamnov, for Selanne. Kachuk in front battling. He and Bork, the main combatants. Korolev behind the net. In front, Fandon. McEachern breaks. Zhamnov back. McEachern's got the wheels. Zhamnov a forward. McEachern turns him. Shot save.
Zhamnov did not a bad job. He looked a little bit like a fish out of water, but he was able to force McEachern somewhat wide there.
Back to the blue line. Manson, drive, Bailey, save, rebound, turned wide by Olchuk. Teemu Selanne for Ed Olchuk. Shannon to the front of the cage. Quinn, shot, blocked to the far corner. Olchuk over, checked by Bork. Bork trying to poke it loose, back to the blue line. Manson gives to Ed Olchuk. Darren Shannon locked up in front with Roloff, goes to the corner. Selanne shot, Bailey save, rebound, Bailey makes the stop. Quinn backhand blocked by Bork. Bruins back at full strength, they'll clear it out of the zone.
Selanne using that great quickness.
Back in comes Selanne, drive, Bailey left pad save, puck hits the post. Quinn keeps it in, shot, Bailey calmly makes the stop and gets the whistle. The joint is jumping now as Scott Bailey standing the Jets on their ear, keeping this game tied at 3.
He's got a really high fever. Our doctor's meeting us here.
It's a good thing you brought him in. Really, everything's going to be okay. Let him get a lot of sleep.
With Harvard Community Health Plan's 24-hour emergency coverage, taking care of your family is something you'll never have to lose sleep over.
If we could see the future, we'd avoid hazardous driving conditions. But we can't. That's why Infiniti combined front-wheel drive with their patented rear suspension in the new i30. This provides enhanced traction on slippery roads and improves handling and stability. Personally, I prefer technology that handles the unexpected rather than predicts it. Don't you?
Now you can lease the Infiniti i30 at a very special rate for a limited time.
The Bruins were caught in a bit of a bad change here. Teemu Selanne breaks through, follows his own shot, and the puck just glides right across the crease, hits the post. Bruins are very fortunate to still be in a tie game.
They've been outshot 10-1 here in the third, after outshooting Winnipeg 20-9 in the second. It's been a tale of 3 hockey games. Bruins clear it out. Alexei Kasatonov lobs it in wide of Nikolai Khabibulin's net. Stump ties up Shane Doan. Doan works loose nicely and comes out with Darren Turcotte. Turcotte into the slot, shot wide glove side. Doan back boards. Gives to King, shot save, rebound. Bailey knocks it in the air, knocked away to the far side. Stumple comes out with Mullen. Stumple, great shift to get by Daryl Shannon. Tried to hit the late trailer Neely, but Shannon picks it off, leads Ronan the other way. Ed Ronan comes in, shot, short side, stopped by Bailey. Kevin Stevens out looking for Stumple. Stumple trying to catch the Jets. Gets picked off by Daryl Shannon. Darren Shannon, center ice, tips it past Bork into the Boston end. Gruden touches up the icing call. 13:37 left to play in the third. 3-3 the score. 12 shots on goal. The Jets have turned at Scott Bailey. He's calmly turned them all back. Cap Rader talks about Scott Bailey.
Well, first, his positioning. For a young kid, 23 years old, playing in the NHL, I really like the way he positioned himself. And I'd say secondly was his composure. especially after the bad goal he let in the other day. He regrouped and he played a great game, and that's a great quality to have, that mental toughness.
He's faced 32 shots in this game, has stopped 29 so far, and has looked very calm, as Cap said, in doing it. Ed Ronan for Daryl Shannon. Darren Shannon tips it out. I asked him not to play these two guys together. Ellick in centering feed. Stevens couldn't get to it. Mullen deep. Daryl Shannon. Far corner gets by the Ellick stick check and drilled by Stevens. Mullen trying to keep it in along with Ellick. Ronan trying to pin it for the faceoff in his own end, and he'll get it. Not necessarily position A right there for Ed Ronan, but it worked.
The Bruins have really basically quit skating here in the first part of this third period. Winnipeg Jets have come out flying, creating a flurry of activity in the Bruins zone, and Scott Bailey has really held them into it.
12-1 shots on goal advantage for the Jets here in the third. You see the Bruins had the decided advantage in the second and still only came out of it outscoring the Jets 3-2 in the period. Todd Ellick and Ed Olczyk on the face-off, just inside the Winnipeg blue line. This will be a tough one to control and keep in for Boston. They'll do neither. Manson to the far corner. Solana. Tipped away. Blue line, Quint keeps it in. Olczyk. Centering pass blocked by Bork. Centering pass deflected by Bork again. Bruins break. Stevens out with Cherkovsky. Rare shift for him. In front looking for Gruden, who came in as the late trailer. Jets trying to turn and do. Kachuk is in alone. Score!
The Bruins don't want to get into a wide-open skating contest with the Winnipeg Jets, and that's exactly what they've been doing here the last shift or so. They get burned by it. Keith Kachuk, second goal of the game, despite a broken thumb, has handled the puck very well in tight. Makes a good little shift here on Scott Bailey and just finds the opening. Gets him to go down. Shoots it in over the pad. Bad defensive play there by the Bruins, allowing Kachuk in behind him.
Gruden got trapped deep trying to make the offensive play. Didn't get back to cover up at the other end. What a pass by Solani to send Kachuk in alone.
Great pass. Perfectly timed.
Jamnov into the Boston zone. Guzmanov shot, save Bailey. Far corner, Igor Korolev. Guzmanov tied up, Jamnov. Korolev, Jamnov shot wide. Jamnov along the line. On the backhand, Donato ties him up beautifully. Ted Donato able to clear it out. Bruins trail by a goal. Second time in the game that they've trailed. They trailed 1-0 at the end of one. Joseph Stumple for the Bruins. Blue line blast fake. Manson poked it right off his stick. Darren Shannon misses it. Zombo back in the Boston end. Tied up. Back towards Kasatonov with the check. And Neely. Neely comes loose, comes out with Stumple and McEachern. Stumple, offensive zone, check, down he goes. Manson with the check. Neely for McEachern, side of the net, couldn't control. Darren Quint turns it loose. Ed Ronan out of the zone. Neely takes it, pushes it back to his own line for Zombo. Neely got shaken up. Neely is shaken up, trying to play, started for the bench, then thought better of it. May have twisted his back a little bit. Neely looks like he's laboring. And he is going to go off. Bruins send it offensive end. They wave off the icing call. Shane Doan misses Darren Turcotte. Ray Bork. Offensive end, Kevin Stevens. Turcotte out. Doan sends it past Bork into the Boston end. Gruden back, avoids most of the Chris King hit. Todd Ellick wheels it out to center ice himself. Surrounded, knocked down. Cherkovsky chips it deep. Stevens bumps with Daryl Shannon. Pushes it back. John Gruden shot blocked. One-on-one, Turcotte comes out against Bourque. Wrong guy to go one-on-one against. Bourque poked it off his stick. Bourque to the near corner to get it back. Less than 10 minutes remaining in the third period of this one. Winnipeg in front 4-3. Sends it in. Jets goaltender Nikolai Khabibulin gives it up left side. Newman in for Olchuk. Looking to send Solani streaking right side on Sweeney. Solani behind the net. Centering pass blocked nicely by Roloff. Teppo Newman for Keith Tkachuk. Teemu Solani comes bearing in. Solani shot. Bailey save. Roloff got shaken up on the play. Backboards. May have taken an errant stick from Solani. Donato able to clear it out. Roloff continuing to play.
Solani is not only very fast, he's very strong. You could see there on that play.
Icing whistled down against Winnipeg. 9:01 left to play here in the third. 4-3. Winnipeg with the lead.
Just how low will your Ford dealer go during the 10-day lowdown event?
Pretty low.
You can't get much lower than the $249 a month lease program on Windstar that we're offering during our 10-day lowdown event. Plus, get special offers like no monthly payments on Ranger till March 96.
Even lower.
Get the lowdown on these and other great offers at your New England Ford dealer now. But hurry, this event ends November 30th.
I'm sorry, Miss Anna, it's only an old car. I mean, there's nothing special.
Would you look at that?
Now entering the gate, the last gear of the day, number 12.
It's on your mind, it's on our bottles and cans. The Michelob Light Skiers 12-pack.
Watching Cam Neely during the break on the bench trying to stretch out a little bit. His last shift, you'll see it here. It looked as though almost like a back muscle or something. He kind of got twisted off stride a little bit. And he looks like he's laboring. Now, he has had a rib problem since he got Sean McEachern's helmet in the ribs. That might be what it is. Zombo shot, Khabibulin save. Cam Neely sends it back into the offensive end. It may be those sore ribs. It looks like Cam is laboring on his breathing a little bit. Shannon sends it deep. Jeff Finley, far corner. Bruins crash. Send it over the shoulder of the goaltender. Newman got it to the line and out. Zombo couldn't control. Ronan wide of Boston's net. Bailey for Zombo. Right side Neely. Stood up Ronan with the check as he made the pass. Stumple. Can't connect with McEachern.
Stumple had McEachern breaking down the left wing, and he chose to hold on to it. Sean had to slow down, and the Bruins turned it over.
Ray Bourque hooked by Solani. Nothing called. Bruins dump it in. Manson to the near wing. Mullen couldn't stop it with the body against the glass. Mullen for Ellick. Cross ice, too far. Tried to go to Stevens, but Solani picked it off on the back check. Ellick back to Bourque at the Boston blue line. Ellick, penalty box boards. Lead feed looking for Stevens. Stevens centering pass blocked by Darren Quint. Near corner, Ellick. Sends it deep, backboards Mullen, missed it. Bourque had poached to the front of the cage, but Mullen couldn't come up with the puck.
The Jets drafted Darren Quint for his skating and offensive abilities, but I've been very impressed tonight here with his defensive play. One-on-one, he's won every battle, moves the puck very quickly when he gets a hold of it.
Teemu Solani broken up by Don Sweeney. Ahead to Steve Leach. Leach, cross ice, too hot for Reed to handle. Reed shot, Khabibulin save. Reed at the hash marks. Back to Sweeney at the line. Backhand. Khabibulin stopped through the screen. Holds on. 6:52 left to play in the third. Winnipeg leading Boston 4-3.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer, smoother, safer than Gillette Sensor XL, no matter what kind of skin you have.
Did he get the page?
He's always asking me that.
Page him again.
I'll page him again.
If your pager can't confirm delivery, call 1-800-SkyTel.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
Back here at the Fleet Center, the Bruins behind the Winnipeg Jets 4-3. You see the rookie defenseman Darren Quint on the Jets bench. I spoke with him about 4 years ago at Cardigan School up in New Hampshire, and his father was asking me at that time what I thought he should do. Should he go play junior hockey or should he stay and go to college? And I said, if it's a good situation to go and you feel he's ready physically and mentally for it, to go play junior hockey, he had his heart set on it. He went out and played in Seattle in the Western Hockey League, had a couple of very good seasons out there, first team All-Stars, you see, and it has really helped him prepare to make the jump to the National Hockey League.
In that section of stands right behind Khabibullin's net, long before this one faced off, somebody had draped a Cardigan banner over the seats. I got a feeling that's some former teachers or classmates or something of Darren Quint's here to watch him play tonight.
It's astonishing when you think 4 or 5 years ago he's at junior high school up there, and next thing you know he's playing in the NHL.
And Neely near corner, combines with Stumple trying to get control. Neely getting upset with Teppo Numminen. Neely battling with Numminen. Numminen goes back after Neely. Now King comes after Neely. Neely puts a glove in the face. Referee Dan Maroelli standing there looking at it. He's going to take King and Neely off.
I think King wants Cam to be going alone, but he's not going to win that argument with Maroelli.
I understand why those two are going. I guess what I don't understand is why Teppo Numminen isn't going. Looked like Numminen was roughing up Neely pretty well in the corner. Holding on to Cam's stick. That's what got Cam frustrated. Then he grabs Cam's head, goes back, gives Cam a shove.
And then waits for Chris King to come around.
I got to tell you, Teppo Numminen right there is lucky that he's not in the box with Neely and King right now.
It's a pretty safe play, though, when you're a defenseman. You know the referee's on the other side of the ice. You're battling in the corner. Put your hand on his stick there. The chances of getting caught are very remote.
Team skate 4-on-4. You would think that would allow the freewheeling Jets even more of an opportunity. Great move by Stumple to gain. Back to Bork. Shot off the left side of the net. Bork, center ice, knocked it away from Eastwood. Sweeney for Stumple. Jeff Finley works it out, tied up by Stumple. Teppo Numminen sends it into the Boston end. Don Sweeney paired with Ray Bork on the blue line, back. Sweeney leads Ellick out. Ellick, offensive zone gain. Ellick, drop pass Bork. Bork, blast, save, rebound, loose in front. McEachern can't get to it. Out comes Olchuk and Kachuk. Keith Kachuk has 2 goals in this game already, sends it deep. He peels off for a line change, and Bork bears out for Ellick. Ellick looking for Stevens on the right wing. Stevens deep for Ellick. Nobody in front of the cage. 2 guys deep. Now in comes Roloff, robbed by Khabibulin. Roloff tips it away to the far hash marks. Teemu Selanne gets control and sends it out.
Khabibulin making a couple of great saves here late in the 3rd period to preserve the Jets' lead.
Darren Quint into the Boston zone. Shot, glove, stop, Bailey. Throws it aside to Ellick. Ellick, little shift past Selanne. Ellick gives it up on the near side to Zombo. Looking to send Stevens in. Eastwood picks him off. Near point, Zombo keeps it in. Shot deflected in front. Score! Joseph Stumple ties the game at 4.
Joseph Stumple with his second goal of the game ties it up here for the Bruins. Just sort of sneaks in behind the Winnipeg defense. Puck bounces over to him, and he very quickly puts the backhand shot by Cabby Bluin. Winnipeg defense, Darren Quint there, lost touch with Stumple. Joseph continues his great play. Really breathes new life into the Bruins here late in this game.
Gordy, this might be the best game I've ever seen Stumple play in a Bruins uniform. He has been all over the ice tonight.
He's absolutely been gaining confidence every game the last few. Playing in all the key situations out here late in the game. Comes through in a big way.
In comes Kachuk for Olczyk. Bailey, great stop. He doesn't know he's got it because he doesn't. Olczyk in front. Kachuk hat-trick, bid stop. Newman and shot block. Teams full strength. Bruins break out. Donato up with Neely. Donato offensive zone looking for Reed. Broken up. Back out comes Olczyk with Kachuk. Olczyk has Kachuk in front. Diving play by Donato. Slumped by Bailey. Barreled over by Kachuk. 4:09 left to play in the third. Bruins and the Jets are deadlocked at 4.
Today, big news from the automotive world. Happy Sport utility buyers flock to showrooms for their first look at the 96 GMC Jimmy. And look at the savings. Now that's a lot of green. And speaking of green, Jeep owners are green with envy. Now the Jimmy tops Grand Cherokee with over 4,800 simoleons in savings. Would there be a better time to save? Get moving. See your New England GMC truck dealer today.
Is it a really high fever? Our doctor's meeting us here.
It's a good thing you brought him in. Really, everything's going to be okay. Let him get a lot of sleep.
With Harvard Community Health Plan's 24-hour emergency coverage, taking care of your family is something you'll never have to lose sleep over.
Scott Bailey with a couple of very timely saves here for the Bruins. The Bruins guilty running around a little bit. Well, this is the play where Ted Donato makes a great diving back check move. Bailey stops it. This was a little bit earlier. Eddie Olczyk working in tight. The puck will come back out front here to Keith Kachuk. We don't get to see it, but Bailey made his best save on Kachuk from point blank.
He just made another one from the blue line on Quint. Neely hauled down center ice. Bruins are going to go on the power play. Cam Neely hauled down by Dave Manson. Manson took the stick from Neely up in the face as Neely went down.
Good hustle by Cam there. He had Manson beaten wide. Forces him to stick his arm out and haul him down.
I'm not sure what the call was. I didn't see what the signal holding called against Manson. It puts Boston on the power play for the 5th time tonight. 1 for 4 with the man advantage thus far. Bruins will get the face-off just inside the Winnipeg blue line. Bruins gain. Roloff can't keep it in. Stumple comes in from Neely. Stumple score! Hat-trick Joseph Stumple!
Well, Dale, you said it's the best game you've seen Joseph Stumple play.
I think it may very well be his finest game in a Bruins uniform. Earlier in the game, in the first period, Joseph Stumple was in virtually at the same location, and he chose to try to pass the puck off to Sean McEachern. This time after a very good play by Cam Neely.
Pretty happy guy, isn't he? His career best was 2 goals in a game in a Bruins uniform. He's had 4 points tonight. That's also a career best.
See the great little backhand pass by Cam. Joseph with a very nice low hard snapshot. Picks the spot. Puts the Bruins puts it right in the 5-hole. Khabibulin, who's played an outstanding game for Winnipeg, victimized a couple times late here in the third period by Joseph Stumple.
Neely and Bourque assist on the hat-trick goal by Joseph Stumple. Cam Neely's got 3 assists in tonight's game. Ray Bourque's got a goal and an assist, and the Bruins have 2 power play goals. Dave Manson was hot when he went to the penalty box. I bet he was nuclear when he came out.
Winnipeg Jets looked like they had this game in hand. 4-3 lead, dominating the Bruins.
There's Manson. If looks could kill. Woo. Now get this, in the second period, the Bruins outshoot the Jets 20-9. They get outscored 3-2. In this period, the Jets outshoot the Bruins 19-9 so far. They've been outscored 2-1. Talk about making the most of the shots you've got.
Joseph Stumple has really come into his own here in the last couple weeks. And it makes you think a little bit about when Adam Oates comes back. You may have the luxury of putting him with Kevin Stevens. Here you see Joseph not looking to pass this time. Just looking to shoot.
Give that little look, though, Gordy? He gave that little glance to the right, and I think kind of froze the goaltender for half a second.
I'm sure Khabibulin knew that McEachern was over there. Stumple absolutely threaded the needle right between his pads.
This, by the way, is the only time I ever have no problem at all with fans throwing things on the ice. Hat tricks are fine. Chuck all the hats you want. I got no problems with that. That's a barrel full right there, including shoes. And I guess if you want to call it a shoe trick, you can. I'm just picturing the drive home with your $120 Nikes out there in the middle of the ice somewhere.
Still 3 minutes and 50 seconds left here. Bruins need to be certain to keep the puck in the perimeter in their own zone. Get the puck into the Winnipeg Jets zone as often as they can.
Still trying to see if there's some more debris on the ice. Evidently, they brought the guys off. They thought they had collected everything, but I guess they're trying to make sure. And the last thing you need is to catch up an edge on some piece of debris. Friday night, it's the American Hockey League game of the week. The Providence Bruins host the Springfield Falcons. Springfield, the top AHL affiliate of the Jets. The best of the AHL only on Nesson. Friday night, live at 7. Roll off for McEachern. Clears it in. Bruins will see if they can hold on to a 1-goal lead. We've had 79 shots in this game between the two teams, 40 of them by the Bruins. Tkachuk sent sprawling. Olchuk drives it in. Bailey steers to the corner. Turcotte picks it off. Olchuk chipped it in front. Bourque blocked, gives to Neely. Out with McEachern. Cam Neely drove it wide. Quint to the corner. Stumble. Grabbed at by Tkachuk. Dave Manson clears it in wide of Scott Bailey's net. Bourque drives it up the boards. McEachern can't get to it. Kept in by the Jets. Olchuk Tried to snap it in front, blocked again by Bork. Korolev far corner. Igor Korolev for Teppo. Newman and Bailey save. Over the glass and into the seats. Great stop by Scott Bailey. 5-4 Bruins with the lead in this one. Let's find out what's going on out of town. Well, the New York Rangers doubling up the Pittsburgh Penguins down at Madison Square Garden, Florida. Are they hot or what? Doubling up the Devils. Philadelphia, a 5-2 lead over the LA Kings down at the Spectrum. Toronto, 4-2 lead over the Blues. Washington holding on to a 1-goal margin over San Jose. Anaheim and Calgary just underway about half an hour ago. They're scoreless in the first. Teemu Selanne has had a goal and 2 assists in this one so far.
If I'm a Bruins defenseman, I want to know where he is at all times, especially the last couple minutes here.
They've got 4 forwards and a defenseman on the ice, or they had it set up with Zhamnov back at the blue line, I should say. Finley back now. Reed knocks it away from him. Leach throws it into the pads of Reed, gloves it, and then drops it into his skates, gets spilled. Reed can't get control. Jeff Finley with it. Time remaining in the third in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Bruins holding on to a 5-4 lead. Alexei Zhamnov looking for Teemu Selanne. Drilled by Don Sweeney. Zombo clears it out. Length of the ice. On net, no icing call. Javi Bulin for Teppo Newman, and that's too hot to handle. Bork will touch up the icing call against Winnipeg. 1:53 left to play in the third. 5-4 Bruins with the lead.
Boy, timely goaltending again tonight by Scott Bailey. Really made a couple of great saves midway through the third period, which if he doesn't make them, the Bruins are really out of the game.
You mentioned to me between periods that this place was very quiet tonight at the end of the first period. It has been rocking here in the third, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Joseph Stumple has really created some excitement tonight.
A little over 17,000 on hand. Not a sellout. They've had 7 sellouts this season. 17,167 on hand here this evening. Dave Manson for Keith Tkachuk. He's got 2 goals tonight for Winnipeg. Not surprising he'd be out there. Roll off, tried to drive it out. Olczyk keeps it in. Bork blocked in front. That's about the third one Bork has blocked in the last minute or so. Manson wrapped up by Hines. Bork just missed sending Hines in. Hines backboards. Checked by Quinn. Far corner, Hines with it again. Steve Hines has roll-off at the point. Tried to shoot it. It was blocked. Out come the Jets. Tkachuk looking for Olczyk. Broken up by Bork. Tkachuk stood up by Bork. Bruins drive it out. Length of the ice. Zhamnov hustles back. Touches up the icing call. Stops the clock with 57.6 seconds left to play in the third.
Bruins have not been doing very well all night on the face-offs. Going to have to find a way to win one here. 57 seconds left.
Well, you're right. They have not done very well, have they? Steve Kasper is going to call his timeout here. Terry Simpson used his in the second period after the Bruins scored their first 2 goals. I would think that you'd see Khabibulin pulled for the extra attacker. This copyrighted program is brought to you under pay cable TV rights granted for the Boston Bruins solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the written consent of the New England Sports Network and the Boston Bruins is prohibited. See Steve Kasper talking with Cap Raider. Joseph Stumple, who has scored 3 of the Bruins' 5 goals, will be out there with a likely empty net at the other end of the ice. Here was the third one.
This is the hat trick goal. Good low little snapshot. Khabibulin, who has played exceptionally well tonight, would like to have had that one back. But Joseph is very happy that he missed it.
Khabibulin off. Extra attacker on for the Jets. Face off to the left of Scott Bailey, and Stumple will be out there to take the draw against Mike Eastwood. Solani, Turcotte, Tkachuk all to the front of the net. Newman set up at the blue line looking for the shot. Stumple get chased? Nope, Eastwood did. Turcotte steps in against Stumple. Confers with Eastwood for a moment. Now Solani trying to back up Eastwood. Stumple concentrating on the draw. Jets gain. Solani drive over the shoulder of Bailey. Boy, did they set that play up beautifully. Tkachuk in the corner battling with Sweeney. Reed tips it out length of the ice. Bruins will gladly take the icing call here. Solani touches, stops the clock with 40.8 seconds remaining. And it was like you draw it up on the board the way they set up the draw.
Solani lines up right in front of the net. Turcotte wins the draw cleanly, and Solani just pulls back. Takes the one-time pass. Didn't get great wood on it. Kind of flipped up on him a little bit. Ended up shooting over the net.
Same face-off circle, same alignment. They have three guys in front of the net. Solani is the middle of the three. What they want is for the other two, Tkachuk and Turcotte, to pick off the two Bruins players, let Solani drop back and get the shot. Puck dropped unfairly. They set them again. They lost time on the clock. Simpson pointing. He's going to want them to reset the clock.
The Bruins would even take a tie on this face-off. What's the worst is when they lose it as cleanly like Joseph did on the last one. It allows Winnipeg to run a play like they did. At least if he ties it up, the Bruins will have time to get into defensive position. Time to get out to the point.
They lost about 2 seconds on the clock. See Terry Simpson yelling, Teppo, Teppo. He wants Newman to come over. Confers with him at the bench. They've got this newfangled scoreboard and clock and everything. You'd think all they got to do is just put 2 more seconds back up there. I think there was like 40.6 if I remember right, and there's 38.5 showing now.
Quick finger on the time clock here.
They just took the half second off. And the referee, Dan Maroelli, has gone to both benches. He may have said, what we're going to do is count 2 seconds before we start the clock. Well, now they put 39 up. This thing is changed by the moment. See, there's the problem right there. Look just in front of Maroelli and to the left of that man leaning up against the glass. See that? There's a computer there. That's where the problem lies. I mean, where did the old clocks and stopwatches and everything go? Draw to the left of Scott Bailey. Eastwood against Stumple. Sticks crossed, puck not dropped. Out goes Eastwood. Stumple stays to take the draw with Turcotte. Stumple ties him up. Now the horn's gone. Oh, they're having problems in the new building. Now, I'll tell you what, Solani thought he had a tying goal right there. He came over and was screaming at the timekeeper. Teemu Solani had it teed up and ticketed as the horn sounded.
Well, Turcotte has beaten Stumple cleanly now in 2 faceoffs. If I'm Coach Steve Casper, I may consider a different person in there. Joseph is trying to win that draw on his forehand. Sometimes that's difficult, although Turcotte's having great success.
Now let's listen for the horn. Watch Teemu and listen.
Wasn't even close. I mean, the horn sounded the minute the puck dropped. Then the Jets thought, well, we'll just keep playing. Now they've got a replay booth up here, and I would guess that they are on the horn with the, and that's what the phone is that you see there that Dan Maruelli is talking on. And they're in all likelihood conferring with the replay booth. Cue it up, tell me how much time there should be, and if we can figure out this clock, that's how much we'll put up there. Because that horn went off the minute the puck was dropped. That's the replay booth that you see there. In fact, if you can back up just a little bit, guys, with the shot, just for you trivia buffs. See what that is on the lower left-hand corner? That's Johnny Most microphone that finally made its way over from the Boston Garden. They stuck it on the front of the replay booth.
Looks like they cleaned it up a little bit.
Might have. But everybody in this building, I mean, it gets sort of lost in this building. Everybody's been saying, where's Johnny Most microphone? It's on the front of the replay booth. Now, we've put 39 seconds on the clock. What that means is anybody's guess. We could hear bells, whistles, and toilets flushing when they drop the puck. Net is empty down at the other end of the ice. Stumple and Eastwood are set for the draw, but Eastwood has been chased out of the last two. Dan Maruelli has been over conferring with Steve Casper.
I think Eastwood's in there just trying to get both he and Stumple thrown out of the face-off.
I think you might be right. And allow Turcotte to take his chances with whoever. Third straight time, Eastwood gets the heave-ho. Turcotte.
This isn't necessarily the matchup the Bruins are looking for, though.
Oh, this hasn't worked like clockwork the first two times. Stumple ties him up nicely this time. Sweeney gets it loose. Reed tried to work it out. Bruins battle puck loose. Tkachuk into the corner for Eastwood. Behind the net, Tkachuk. Beat Tkachuk. Back to Eastwood. Chopped by Sweeney. Glove down Newman. Into the corner, Tkachuk checked by Sweeney. Got it loose. Centering feed blocked by Bourque. Reed chops it off the stick of Solani and out to center ice. 12 seconds left. Dumped back into the Boston end. Bailey stops. Sweeney drives. Tkachuk ducks, kept in at the blue line. Jamnov loses. Reed clears. That's going to do it. The Bruins will win.
Couple of good plays at the end there by Dave Reed and Ray Bourque. Reed held up Jamnov's stick there at the end, preventing him from getting it in on Bailey, and Ray made a good anticipation, intercepting the puck coming out of the corner.
Tell you what, goaltender Scott Bailey faced 20 Winnipeg shots in that third period, allowed only one goal. Joseph Stumple completed the hat trick with 2 third-period goals, and the Bruins get performances from Stumple and Bailey and beat the Winnipeg Jets 5-4. Let's head downstairs and find out what's in store in our post-game show with Brenda Brennan.
Thanks very much, Dale. The Bruins extend their unbeaten streak to 3 games, and they are now unbeaten in 4 games at the Fleet Center as they up their home record to 5-4-2. Our Fleet player of the game tonight, none other than 23-year-old Joseph Stumple, who had 4 points tonight, including his first career hat trick. Joseph Stumple, our player of the game. When we come back, we hope to talk to Joseph Stumple. You're watching NESN Boston Bruins Hockey.
$5,000 for the baby. I'm embarrassed to take this. You could do something with it. Like what? Go on a cruise. If your mother and I want to do that, we'll do that. I can't pay this back. Pay it back by doing the same thing for your grandchild.
Last year, Amy Peterson of Fleet approved 175 home equity loans because more room can often bring families closer together. James Morton provided 120 low-interest loans so more people could enjoy the pride of ownership. And Jim Finelli set up over 80 retirement plans because after all your hard work, you deserve something to look forward to. At Fleet, over 20,000 employees support their hopes and dreams by supporting yours.
Hustling and bustling for this season's best values can be a breeze if you shop with this, the Big Payback Value Book, and this, your Discover Card. You can get over $170 in cash rebates on top name brand gifts for the holidays. Just send us your receipts, and you can wrap up big savings without all the runaround. It pays to discover the card with the big payback. Look in the mail for your value book today.
Hey, guys, what do they call this bud? Ice? It's ice brewed. No, it's a bottle looks like ice. The bottle does look like ice. It's ice brewed, just a bedhead. The bottle is Jake, and it looks like ice. Ice brewed. Jake!
Hey, you guys! Take it outside.
Okay, Coach.
Bud Ice, the official beer of the Hanson brothers.
Stupid machine took my quarter.
We're back on Nesson's Instant Replay Show, and Boston has handed Winnipeg a 5-4 defeat, and we are with the happiest man in Boston right now, Bruins centerman Joseph Stumple. How does it feel to get your first hat trick?
It's unbelievable. It doesn't happen before, and it's the first time. Maybe it doesn't happen too many times, but I hope it will.
We're going to take a look at a couple of the goals here if you want to tell us what happened on them. 6 goals so far this season. That's more than you had all of last year.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the second one. I just take a puck, just came to me and get right on the backhand, so I just put it right in the net. He didn't have so good ankle, so I hit the right side of the bottom of the net, so went right in.
Now we're going to look at your hat trick goal here.
That's a great passes from Ray and Cam. Just get the puck, and before I make the mistake, we got before with Sean. With Kevin on the power play, I didn't shoot, so now I just concentrate on the shot, and I hit it right between the legs.
Now you enter the third period, tied 3-3. Winnipeg comes back and scores the goal to make it 4-3. What was the feeling on the Bruins bench at that point?
Yeah, we didn't start very well the last period. We get the goal. We went a little bit down, and then we try concentrate, come back, and you can see we come back and we win this game.
You took a lot of key face-offs tonight.
Yeah, actually, mostly the last one. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it, but we wait for a long time and finally get the face-off, and didn't lose it, so puck's still right over there, and we get a pretty good position on the puck, and we just finished the game.
Is it the importance of a face-off sometimes underrated in this game?
Yeah, obviously. Every face-off in a game, it's mostly in the zones, because after face-off you got great position on his puck, and if guys go to the net, you got a great opportunity to score.
Now, one more question. You didn't dress for the first 3 of the first 4 games, but Casper has shown confidence in you since then. Can you talk about how you've kind of bounced back from that struggling start?
I actually didn't look. I got the greatest camp and everything, so then I try keep working and come back, and you can see right now things going well, and I got some goals, I got some assists, so the team's is getting a little bit better, so that's the best thing what you can do, it's the winning.
Well, keep it up. Thank you very much for being with us on our Instant Replay Show.
Thank you.
That's Joseph Stumple, who had the hat trick tonight. Now it's time to head upstairs to Dale Arnold and Gord Kluzak.
Pretty happy guy, and deservedly so, Gordy. A terrific performance for Joseph Stumple, a guy whose skills have never been a question mark since he arrived here in Boston. I think last year we saw just a touch of it when he was paired with Mariusz Czerkowski late in the season. This is a guy who can do some things offensively for this team.
He certainly can, and he's 6'2", 210 pounds. He can battle for the puck very well one-on-one, and he has great skills, good puck handling, good skater, and when he's really found his match here with Cam Neely.
He mentioned that he took a lot of face-offs late. He lost all of them, too, except for the last one, and the importance of that one is that he tied it.
Yeah, the tie was just as good as a win for the Bruins there at the end. They did get into some trouble, and certainly face-offs are something that Steve Casper was always great at, and I'm sure he'll be something they'll be working on as the season progresses.
Scott Bailey is still undefeated as a Bruins netminder at the major league level. He's now 2-0-1.
And with all of the rumors that are dancing around out there, you wonder if he's going to be playing when they take on the Kings on Friday.
Well, nothing seems to bother him very much. And in this third period, he made a couple of good stops that really kept the Bruins in the game when they could have been actually blown out. And I think the thing we really have always been impressed with him is that his poise. He doesn't seem, he's unflappable. Even though he maybe lets in a couple goals late in the second period, he comes out, plays very strong in the third period.
You know, this is a pretty good team that the Bruins beat tonight. At times, this game was sloppy. It was always entertaining tonight, however, and that's a good team they beat.
It was a good team. A lot of offensive talent. The Bruins played very, very well at times and very, very poorly at other times. But just the same, they'll take the 2 points.
They'll take the 2 points. They'll enjoy their turkey dinner on Thursday, and they'll host Wayne Gretzky and the Los Angeles Kings on Friday. When we come back, NHL highlights and our own highlights from this one as the Bruins beat the Winnipeg Jets 5-4 at the Fleet.
If you buy a Cavalier today, we wouldn't be surprised if by the time it's scheduled for a tune-up, you've already got it paid off. If by the time it needs new rear shocks, you have your master's degree. If by the time it needs a transmission fluid change, your baby is in first grade. Or if by the time it needs a new muffler, we've elected 2 presidents. Any car can be easy to buy.
The Queen is here. The banners are here. We're at the Winnipeg Arena, and it's the Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Canada. Ken Wilson with Joe Micheletti. Rob Ramage is also with us tonight. We've survived a cold, snowy trip in last night. From St. Louis. My, how the weather changes. The good news is last night, Joe, the Blues really turned it around with that win over Montreal.
Yeah, they really did. They had gone 5 games without a victory, and there was an incident on Monday night, Ken, after the Buffalo game where the Blues lost 2-0 at home, and Mike Keenan was somewhat incensed, I suppose you could say, and he told the players after the game, I'll resign and I'll find a new coach starting tomorrow morning unless things don't turn around here. And that's when we had all the meetings and no practice on Tuesday. And I talked to Mike today about the incident, and he really declined to comment on it.
Well, we can comment on Brett Hull. Boy, what a job he's been doing since his return.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He's been back for 4 games now. The Blues have scored 9 goals in those 4 games. Brett Hull has been involved in 7 of those 9.
Thanksgiving night against Vancouver, what a play he made.
Yeah, he really did. This was his first game back. Showed that he had strength in the leg, was able to fend off a bigger man, and then just sets up Al McInnes beautifully for the Blues goal.
Then last night, just a remarkable goal.
Yeah, he got hit in the corner, loses his helmet, but knows that there's a scoring chance coming up and puts himself in a position to get the scoring chance, and then with a man all over him, no one does it better. He just fired it past Jablonski for a 3-2 Blues lead.
The Blues beat the Winnipeg Jets 3 weeks ago in St. Louis. Since that time, the Jets have jumped well above 500, and that's about what they were at that point. They have 26 points, 4th overall in the West.